Marek 1 Wave Teresa 4232.
Congrats on the first Isagriel and no more bot. Dankeschön.
24 Jam Pren Wiggle SSHP.
There we go. I shouldn't be muted now. Hello. Percy says hi too.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Vanille the Pastry Witch. I sell questionable potions at questionable prices. And today we are having Crumbcast with Wild Berk, our local mud tender.
Hello there.
Hello. Would you like to...
Vanille.
Would you like to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do?
Well, hello there. I'm Wild Berk, a horror game enthusiast and voice actor connoisseur. I don't know. Amateur, not amateur. I've been I don't know how to describe myself, but I like horror games and I like making stupid jokes. And I do voice acting occasionally.
Yeah.
And I'm here to talk about alcohol and other cool things.
Yeah, this is the alcohol episode. Ho, 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 ho. The alcohol episode, as it were. Hello, let me get the highs out of the way. Hello, Asakriel. Hello, Hickory. Hello, John Swan. Hello, Giga. That blue is so hard to read on this gray.
Dude, sometimes I can't read chat's names because they're just, with my color blindness, it's like, fuck.
Right? There's this one shade of like very vibrant blue that is very hard to read on top of the gray. Hello, I do have alerts turned off. You won't be able to hear them here, so let me make sure they're turned off Twitch side as well. That way we don't get teeheed by accident. So whatever you do, do not spend bits on sound alerts because we're not gonna hear them.
Imagine on the flip side where someone's revealing the life mystery, right? What is the meaning of life? And then someone just hits fart reverb that completely cuts them off.
You're having this. Okay, so I actually had that happen. Not like farting, but I was talking about something really deep, like anti-nihilism, right? And why nihilism is bad, and you should just be excited at the fact that life has no meaning, right?
Oh, I'm gonna fucking
live your
puke it out
life.
with you later.
Live your life, right? Don't live with the restraint of I have to be remembered. Enjoy yourself now.
I'm gonna tell you again. I had a drink in me already, so I'm ready to fight philosophy. That's not what nihilism is about.
It's not what nihilism is about. That is absolutely correct. You shouldn't do that. You should just enjoy life instead. Stop being sad. Just be happy.
Nihilism is legitimately about, nothing truly matters in the universe, but because you have free will, everything that you perceive does matter to you, and that fucking rocks.
Yeah!
That's like the most TLDR of that work.
Yeah!
And then occasionally God's cool. People forget that Nishi's actually a big fucking Christian guy. He wrote it to be pro-God, and everyone misinterpreted it, but that's a different story.
But yeah, I did that. We were talking about like that kind of important life stuff, and then I saw a really good chocolate covered strawberry and I immediately interrupted myself being like, oh my god, that looks so delicious. Anyway.
You're just practicing what you said in motion to just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, just enjoy the moment. Sorry, I forgot to do the live thingy. So I regret to inform everyone, as you probably already know, I'm knee deep and I'm neck deep. I'm submerged in Monster Hunter Wilds. I was playing it till the very last second.
Your job simulator doesn't have enough job in it.
Yeah, goddamn this job. You're so right though. There's no optional quests. There's none. There's no bounties for me to fill. They're not like being like, oh, can you go photograph this really cute bird for me? Or I'm sorry, can you go and reach into some crap and pull out a beetle? Or oh, I need you to hunt this monster like 5 times. Just make sure you capture them and not kill them. Like, there's none of that. There's no side quests.
Billy, this brings me unfettered joy because I'm like, I refuse to play this game. And then just to hear,
I want more.
But the live service model, Nilly. The live service model.
Well, it's a single paid thing, actually. There's no live service model. with Monster Hunter. You buy the game and you own the game and you play the game. You know,
They ain't gonna add like a DLC later?
they
or?
do, but it's it's an expansion. It's another like 20 hours of game with new zones, new monsters, new everything. It's like instead of releasing a full game every 2 years, they release the game and then 3 years later they release a DLC to whet your appetite, and then 3 years after that they'll release another game. Full game. Spartan, there better not be any paid crap. Do not. No live service nonsense. But today we're talking drinks. And you want to know what inspired this? Number one. Valhalla. Which we were playing on Berk's stream, voice acting. I am a very interesting character.
You have... The worst part is you were designed. It was by the numbers. Like, so I'll preface this a little bit. I do Valhalla every year. It's one of my favorite games. Before I actually played the game before I became a bartender, like as a real job. But I did enough in college that I was really tired of people making shitty drinks. So I just kicked people out of their kitchens, and they're like, no, I'm fucking making the drinks. Get the fuck out. I was not very popular, but man, I made some good drinks. I got invited to parties, and it was like, all right, just stay in the kitchen. I'm like, fine. I was a very angry professional bartender at that age, but so I played it every year, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna do it this year. And then people mentioned they were interested in voice acting it with me because, as you would know, voice acting every character is fucking exhausting.
It is, especially when they're all so different.
Yeah, and you're like, I can do like 7 voices, and that's pretty good. 7 voices is pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
pretty good.
Yeah, you can do different voices, and like, that's pretty cool. Like, but it gets exhausting. You can't keep up. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get some people to help. And then a mutual friend of ours, the Omega Paladin, was like, you should get Nillian on it. I'm like, oh no, I already know how to typecast her. Like, it was one of those, I just know who to typecast her as immediately. I had one character in mind because you have the same color scheme.
Yep.
You have the same gremlin energy.
We're short as hell.
And
we both look like children.
Say, not only that, but you have you could say the most unhinged shit without flinching.
And we're both afraid of dogs.
That part I didn't fully remember. It's kind of like a guy that remembers 80% of Lord of the Rings, but forgets that Sam's a gardener. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, that's a core corner of his personality. Yeah, but I just kind of forgot. I only say this because I went to a Lord of the Rings trivia night recently, and it was an important question. And they're like, Berk, what would it be in the books? And I'm like, I don't know, a dagger. And then like, it was dirt. Because it's the gift when the elves give him a gift. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that makes sense. He's a gardener. Yeah, they give him a gardening gift. Fuck me, I'm stupid.
Dirt. So.
Gave him dirt.
Dirt.
But we had a great time.
We did.
And we plan on doing a lot more voice acting in the future. And I might do some auditionings in my server.
Nice.
Because what I would like to do, what I would really, really like to do, because it's not something you see a lot in any field, but I feel in VTubing, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of raw talent, but not really a lot of direction because we're all in the haha memes or trying to meet quota kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, like, we have a lot of people that are clearly, if not in theater, very theater oriented. And I would love to get VTubers to start doing plays because we already have actor models, right?
Right.
So and we could just get some shitty, like, I mean, get them really de-res. I want like 2 pixels per costume. But like, I want Romeo and Juliet with like, pick your favorite VTubers and get that performed. I think that would be really rad. That's
Romeo and Juliet, and we've just pinned the clothing on top of us.
Yeah, because that's the whole point. You could put all the Live D2 models on, right?
Yep.
So you don't even have to hire someone to do like 90% of all theater work. You just got to get a fucking royalty-free script, which are all free, by the way. And I'm not even talking about like 1950s writers. Waiting for Godot? That's public domain. You can fucking do that for free.
Dracula.
Yeah, that's my fucking point.
Don't do Dracula. Dracula's way too freaking long. Don't do it.
That's called a commitment.
The dry read of Dracula took us 4 hours.
That's pretty short. Do you know how long it takes to read Hamlet?
Oh, yeah. Keep in mind, this was for musical theater, right? So there's no songs. There's no set switching or anything, right? So they purposely pick smaller ones, like Phantom of the Opera and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So you get like a 2-hour dry read, right? And then you change around some parts, and then you get a 2.5-hour show once you get all the timings down, right? Because sometimes you can't really go that long for a show. Dry read, 4 hours, no songs, no set switching, no nothing. We can't do a 4-hour long play in high school. Nobody will come.
Not even the actors.
Not even the actors. If you can't finish it in like we went overtime. We went and had our 1 hour long period of musical theater, and then we went after school to finish it the next day. Like, 'twas rough.
That is a different level.
Yeah.
I remember the hardest play I ever had to sit through was that they did Henry V, part 1 and 2, over the course of like 3 days. I felt like I was going to the fucking opera, which, if you've ever done opera, I first of all, I'm sorry. Opera is beautiful.
The difference,
fuck you.
The difference between musical theater and opera is that musical theater wants you to know what the hell's going on in the story, and opera just wants you to be like, ooh, pretty voice.
The Italians would like a word with you.
Hear me out. I've been to plenty of opera, and they use so much, like, classic opera uses so much vibrato that the words are almost unintelligible because it is a display of the singer's skill.
I understand. I fully agree.
And all of the lore is locked behind songs, which is about 80% of the show. So you're sitting here trying to figure out what the hell's going on based off of these actors that are really far away.
That's why they told those magnifying glasses.
Yeah, that's why you bring the little binoculars. So I am more of a musical theater gal because, like, you can actually understand what people are singing. I like opera, but I prefer classical singing to opera singing.
What's your favorite musical?
Ooh, musical? Okay, so I know this is an internet one, but I really do like I really do like Dr. Horrible's Sing Along Blog.
You would.
That was so fun. Okay, we did that. It was so fun.
I'm not here to bash. But it's like every woman I know's answer.
It's because it's so fun, okay? It's just an absolute blast when you're, like, participating in it. The principal came into our classroom and was like, you are not allowed to say penis. And we didn't for the entire time. And then on stage, one of the grade 12ers, right? Captain Hammer, who was graduating that year in the one where...
The hammer is...
in the one, only in the shows. He never did it in any rehearsal, right? And we never thought it would happen because, oh, okay, fine, all right, this is a no fun zone. Then on the actual plays, once it's too late for consequences, he does it. And the principal's like, ah!
What an absolute mad lad. Good
so
on him.
good, so good.
I really hope he ate the microphone too. And it was like, the hammer's like, pull off.
No, he was very clear and succinct, like he wanted the principal to hear every single syllable.
Goddamn, what authority. That's a senior prank. We just bubble bath bombed our principal.
My other one, though, my other actual one is the Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Fantastic choices.
There we go. That is my actual play. Oh, and hold on, it's tied. Pied Piper of Hamelin is my childhood favorite. And what's the one? I forget. I think it's the Pirates of Penzance.
Yep, that was one of mine. That's a pretty. I was like, mine's a really safe bet. So it's that. My lesser known one would probably be the $1 Million Quartet.
No.
Which is about there was a storm. I think it was either in the late 50s or the early 60s, where at one point in time, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and two other people who I'm forgetting right now, like really famous rock musicians for the 1950s and 60s, are all trapped in one studio booth where they get to record to each other, and it's called the $1 Million Quartet.
Nice.
It's just getting to hear good rockabilly, and I enjoyed that one greatly, but I know that's a niche pick.
Yeah, fair.
And the other would be Avenue Q, because that's like fucking quintessential Muppet theater, but for adults.
Mine are grandpa taste, I guess.
So hold on, my fourth pick would be, I mean, if you want grandpa taste, Guys and Dolls. Like that's my standard go-to. That's my standard go-to. Just because it's really hard to get upset at that play.
Oh, true. Oh,
but it does. Okay.
Sorry. Dankeschön. Enjoy your emotes. Wait. All right.
Oh, somebody got a gifted soup.
Someone did. Yes.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
No, man. I interrupted you though.
I was going to just say in the theater world, it's always interesting hearing what people's favorite plays are, because it's either, wow, you like a really basic thing despite being like invested in the entire theater community like me, because I have a degree in it, right? Like this is something I went 4 years and practiced at a national theater for. It's like, you like that? Like, yeah, because I think often you guys are trying to reinvent the wheel too hard. And that's my truth. That's my honest fucking truth. I think 90% of theater is trying too hard to reinvent the fucking wheel.
Yeah. Like, so you know all like the flavor of the month YouTube populars when it comes to musical theater? Like the ones like Epic, the musical just came out. I don't know if there's an actual musical behind it, right? Because there's a lot where they just release essentially an OST that is a musical. I guess it's a return to form for opera. You just release a full album on YouTube that tells a story.
You mean a concept album? The thing that like Rush does a lot.
Yeah.
For all the grandpas in the room.
Epic the musical came out, and I like the songs, but I don't know if that actually is being like performed, because there's so many other things. I do know that what was super popular for a while was I don't know the name. Shoot.
It's okay. I never remember any names.
Yeah,
that's why when you're like, hey, tell me some cocktails, I'm like, my brain goes,
They come and they go as fast as, like, they stay for so short. They don't really leave an impact at all.
It's kind of weird because, like, even on Broadway, they kind of cycle through some safe bets. Book of Mormon's been on the list for a while. There was this really good musical, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's about a waitress at a pie diner.
Oh!
And about, like, all the shenanigans that goes down.
Yeah! That was one of the Flavor of the Month ones.
That was really good. I enjoyed it, but...
There's a good song from that I like to sing.
But, you know, musicals are hard because you're trying to reinvent the fucking wheel.
Yeah!
My favorite musical that I can't tell anyone about, because you won't be able to find it, was that someone did a Taming of the Shrew 1950s milkshake musical, for lack of a better term. So they had like a live band, you know, that would do a lot of the monologues in Taming of the Shrew. As a musical theater piece. And that was really fun.
Interesting.
But that was only performed 1 year at the OSF. Which is the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Neat. I'm trying to think of the one. The poster of it is like a kid's broken arm with a cast with names signed on it, and the iconic song was them basically inventing a friendship between him and his dead bully. If anyone remembers that.
That's a deep pick. I might have to consult the higher powers for that one in a minute. But everyone knows Be More Chill too. That's like another
not
pretty popular pick.
this was more drama. It's not a musical. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. The plot of it was that this kid died, and he was trying to, I forget why, but he was trying to reframe their relationship as a friendship because it got him closer to someone that he liked. So he just made email accounts and sent emails to and from himself, talking essentially as this quote-unquote dead kid. Well, the kid is dead. That is not for question. The kid is dead. And he was faking it because it got him attention from the girl that he liked.
Fellas, did you ever die to help your boy get a girl?
No, the kid that died was the main character's bully.
God damn.
Like, it is
Fellas, have you
completely
ever committed
invented.
Murder? Ted Bundy is quite successful with women. You too. Could be a hit with the ladies.
I just remember it was popular on Tumblr because people extrapolated it as if they were dating, and it's like, they're not dating. Tumblr will extrapolate anybody to be dating, and then you watch it and you're like, there's 0% of the content I saw on Tumblr actually exists. We are all smoking meth. None of this happened.
I was about to say,
it's not Weekend at Bernie's. It's new. It came out between like 2015 and 2020.
Hold on, I would be down for a musical of Weekend at Bernie's. Because I want the dance solo for Bernie. Where they just let him go and he flops and he doesn't get up.
No. But for a drama pick, that's not a musical theater pick, I actually really like Sir Patrick Stewart's Soviet Union rendition of Macbeth. You can watch it on Netflix, but I thought it was such an interesting take. I really like it when they try and translate things into different. You know how the Lion King is basically Hamlet, right? Like,
About to say, don't put those two together. Do you want me to lecture this for like 30 minutes?
do it.
No, I'm not going to because I how dare you call my bluff out? How dare you?
Lamau.
No, it's just enough of like, oh yeah, fucking Simba's Hamlet, and then the fucking, because I don't remember Lion. The problem is I remember Hamlet well. I don't
killing
fucking
his
remember
uncle.
Lion King. I know I get that part. It was what's the Puma and the fucking. That's
Puma and Simone?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yeah.
That's literally Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, but they don't get murdered by Hamlet by the end. Like, there's a lot of little things I remember about the movie, but I have this weird, like, mental blackout of I don't remember any Disney movie in the 90s.
The Disney he doesn't remember the Renaissance when they came back from like the breaking point after like the Black Cauldron and multiple quote unquote failures of movies. He doesn't remember the golden age of Disney.
Listen, all I remember is Titan AE and Treasure Planet, which are both not Disney.
He doesn't remember the Aladdin. The Lion King.
I guess I vaguely remember Jungle Book just because it had things I gave a shit about.
True. But
I got too traumatized by The Thing to remember anything else when I was like 6.
What was the thing that the birds? Mom and Neil, I didn't watch horror until like 2 years ago, okay?
Oh.
My introduction to horror was FNAF. I had just dodged the genre, okay? I played the OG Slender Man that you can get for free. Slender Man, the 8 pages? Yeah, I played that. That was like one of the first 10 games I streamed. And then I played the OG FNAF. And then I got into Resident Evil, and that is my introduction to the horror genre. One could say, arguably Stalker beforehand, but that's more of a survival shooter. That's very scary. I didn't start watching horror movies until like Resident Evil. So Mama Neil, who's also not a fan of horror movies at all, was like, Alfred Hitchcock's not horror. Not at all. So we watched the birds, and that traumatized me for months. I was horrified because there are crows that would follow me up and down the street. It's because they're really friendly.
About to say, did you give them food? They'll give you shinies.
Yeah, they're super nice, but they horrified me. I was just petrified of birds for months afterwards. And then she made me watch Vertigo.
So, my favorite drama, and if you know Eugene O'Neill, oh my god, how the fuck do I say his last name? Eugene O'Neill. He's a very depressing American playwright. But it'd be Long Day's Journey into Night.
Okay.
Which is about this family that are basically his actual family and how fucking miserable they are with each other. Where they're like, they do all this random ass shit where like the grandpa's this the head of the house is this penny pincher, but he likes whiskey, but everyone likes stealing his whiskey, but to hide it they always water it down from whatever they took. So eventually they're all just drinking water from the same bottle that's just vaguely whiskey colored. Or how so he's so cheap and they don't have electricity, or I forgot. Depends on the play. They either do it by candle and they lit one candle when they have 5, or they turn on 1 out of 5 bulbs. It's just like hard times, motherfucker. But it's such a riveting play in terms of writing.
Ego says, take some Hawaiian Punch and Everclear and mix them half and half. Opinions?
You know, if you don't mind getting fucked up, that's the goal. That's fine. Like, if we were gonna shift into hard drinking category,
tell me.
The best drink in the world is the one you like and what you're using it for. No, that's the ultimate truth. Like, I could go off and be like, oh, I really like the Negroni. I think it's a classic for a reason. It stands the test of time. I could talk you a Cosmopolitan is the best drink. I could fucking say a Mai Tai is the best Thai. I could fucking say a mango mojito is like, I could say whatever fucking cocktail is the best. You know, a raspberry Collins if you wanted to get more on your train. Right? All the difference is that you muddle fresh raspberries on top of your regular Tom Collins, and that's all it fucking is. And you're like, these are all the greatest drinks. But the truth is, it's whatever drink makes you fucking happy.
Tom Collins
I really
makes
do
me
not
happy.
like. I do get a little pretentious. Like, I can't hide that when I bartend, I have preferences, or I go, oh, that's a piece of shit drink. Why would you fucking do that to yourself?
Give me a piece of crap drink. Give me one.
Cement mixer.
What? Okay, what is a cement mixer?
Hold on, I gotta look this up. Because there's 2 interpretations. The one I always remember it as might be known as a graveyard, which is all the spilled drinks that get into the bar mat.
Swamp
and
water.
You strain it into one drink.
Swamp water.
Okay, no, I remember this one now. This is fucking miserable. It's Bailey Irish cream and an ounce of lime juice, and it curdles as you drink it.
That's gross. You lost me at cream.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like
the
cream-based drinks.
But yeah, it's called a cement mixer because obviously the lime juice activates the cream, so it gets thicker, and when you're drinking it, it swirls, right? So it just gets thicker and thicker as you try to drink it.
Oh, that does not sound like a good time.
The more popular iteration would probably be a lot of people would know as an Irish car bomb, which is a very similar. I know it's a little dicey in today's terms, but it's the one I know it as. And an Irish car bomb. The stream is brought to you by the IRA. It's just, you have a pint of Guinness or whatever stout you enjoy, and you take a shot glass filled with Bailey's Irish cream or whatever Irish cream you prefer. I would say Five Farms because it's actually fresh, versus there's a lot of preservatives in most other creams.
Okay.
But you are paying a fucking hefty fine for it. It's like 2 or 3 times the price of Bailey's.
Ooh.
And it will go bad in like 2 weeks if you don't finish the bottle. Because it has no preservatives. But goddamn, it's like drinking a milkshake with alcohol. Anyway, you take that shot and you drop it into your pint glass of stout, right? And obviously it curdles. and you have to down the whole pint with the Irish cream as it goes down. And it tastes effectively like a really nice, creamy chocolate milkshake.
Huh.
It's kind of a novelty drink. In America, you will see a lot of people order it around St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
It's the tradition. And it's kind of there's a lot of drinks in bartending culture that force binge behavior. So it's usually like a shot and a shot, a pint in a shot, because like there's also sake bomb, which is another iteration of it too, where you would find a Japanese lager and you do a shot of sake in it too, preferably a fruitier, sweeter one. And it's the same principle.
I have a drink for you. That's a novelty drink.
Okay.
First of all, Ego says Gonster, Guinness, and Monster, and Johnster, which is Jägermeister and Monster. Here we're here to tell you: do not mix caffeine and alcohol.
I'm about to say
bad.
So, when I was 19, and I was a very provoking adolescent, I got charged with a minor in possession. It just means I got caught in public being drunk as shit by the police. And because I was a good bud man, I didn't have to actually get a MIP. I could do something what's called diversion, which means you have to do 10 hours of community service and not get caught drinking again for 6 months.
Not don't drink, just don't get caught.
Yeah. But you're also required to take basically an Alcoholics Anonymous class as part of it too. But one of the things they went over is like why any energy drink with alcohol is a stupid fucking idea, because your heart doesn't know what the fuck to do with that information.
Yeah.
It's because you're adding a stimulant, caffeine, or whatever B12 or whatever they're using for their enhancer, and you're putting a depressant. So you get to go, wow, I get none of the coordination from alcohol with all the energy I think I could take on the world from this. This is a great idea.
It's also a recipe for heart failure.
So that's the best part is, oh, I'm really excited to do that.
Dad, don't cook your chicken patties in the toaster. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, but I will say anything that's an energy drink with any form of hard alcohol, especially Jägermeister, which is technically a digestive because it's so bitter and it's meant to help with after meals.
Yeah.
Or is it an aperitif? But
Jägermeister is medicine.
Yeah, it's more of a medicinal drink, and those are just college drinks.
When you get sick from alcohol, you have a Jägermeister, but you sip it. That is Opa Omanili's cure-all for hangovers. When you feel nauseous from alcohol, you would sip a Jägermeister. I'm pretty
when you're hungover?
Yeah. Not quite hungover. When you're in the throe of drinking alcohol and you feel like you could vomit, you drink a Jägermeister because those sweet 10 herbs and spices.
Are you familiar with Underberg then?
No, not by name.
Underberg is a digestif, which just means you have a big meal and you're like, oh man, I ate too much.
You have Jägermeister.
You can have one of those.
Yeah.
Jägermeister, but Underberg is another, like, they're very famous for being the digestif.
Okay. Yeah, my family always used Jägermeister as a medicine. Like, you feel nauseous, you dip a sugar cube in there, and then you give it to your kid. Right? You take a sugar cube, dip it in some Jägermeister, and you give it to the kid, and the kid's all right. Like, it's always used as a medicine, so it's really weird going to people's houses, and they're like, Jäger shots! It's like, what? What are you doing? But my novelty drink is a shark attack.
Ooh.
A shark attack. So it doesn't really matter how you make it. This is a recipe I found online. It's how you serve it that's important, okay? So it says lemonade, coconut rum, lemon vodka, blue curacao?
I always fuck it up too.
Yeah.
Curacao is what I believe it might be curacao.
Okay. Lemon seltzer and gummy sharks. And so you have this blue drink, okay? This ice blue drink.
I'm looking at it right now.
And there's 2 ways you can serve it. Number 1, you flip a you flip a thing of grenadine at the bottom, and then you tip it so that the red comes up, or you have a little plastic shark that you fill the grenadine in, and then when you serve it, you put the shark in the water, and then the red comes out.
Hell yeah.
It's yummy, but it's all about essentially the service of the drink. C with a little thing on the bottom is an S sound. Okay, so curacao. Yeah, it's all about the service. So you
Hell
can,
yeah.
you can realistically do it with any drink if you just put gummy sharks in the drink. Let's be real.
With a little bit of grenadine.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the lemon drop where kids pee in the pool, but there's a shark about to kill you.
You saw the shark. Let's go.
I actually was low key thinking of because I'm gonna be bartending at Offkai again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to make some really goofy ass VTuber themed drinks, and one of them is gonna be called the Drowned Goldfish for Mari_en. And it's just a lemon drop with a fucking goldfish that's at the bottom of the drink under the ice.
Lamau.
Because well, it's not exactly the same story. I had a beta fish, right? They're very beautiful fish, if you've ever seen them.
Yeah.
And we got really excited because we made this beautiful like rock enclosure with a plant for it to eat and all that. And like the second day I get back from school to check in on it, it somehow drowned itself under the rocks.
Sad.
And I'm like, I mean, it was just one of those. I was shorter lived than I anticipated. Just one of those. Oh, that's just fucked up, man. Anyway, I'm using that as my inspiration for this drink.
I need to. If I had a drink, you could go the classy route, or you could go the garbage route of my drink is toilet water.
I was gonna call yours a bakery and make it like cinnamon oriented.
Ooh,
or
that would be
cinnamon
nice.
Vanilla.
Yeah. Okay, can I tell you? It's not really a secret, but can I tell you something kind of funny?
Yeah.
I hate the flavor of vanilla.
Hilarious.
I hate vanilla. But that
That's
does
fair.
sound, the warm cinnamon sounds lovely. I don't like vanilla ice cream. I don't like vanilla cake. I don't know. I don't like vanilla milk. I don't like vanilla frosting.
Damn. You're at war with your name every day.
I am. No, see, I'm safe because it's the one flavor I won't eat. That way I don't cannibalize myself.
I see.
I'm
That makes
safe. I'm
sense.
safe. Also, we have a sip from Ecstatic. So I'm having Tom Collins. And how much is in here? Yes. The rest
Pour with
of
your
the
heart.
gin. It's very
How
pink.
about this? Very pink? Hold on. What the fuck? What kind of
I got
gin are you using?
Empress 1908 Elderflower
Oh,
gin.
I know it. I'm about to say, my brain kicked in and was like, wait, pink, it has to be Empress. Fuck.
Yep, it's Empress. It was a gift for helping someone move.
That's a very
Otherwise-
nice gift.
Yeah.
Is it just the regular Empress or is it the elderflower?
It is the elderflower that way. That's the pink. I want to try their blue
I feel like
one
you
next.
just said it. I realize you just said it too. That's the worst part. I'm very good at listening, but if you're looking to enhance a basic gin and tonic, a splash of elderflower goes a long way.
Yeah, it is good. It's tasty. And I made my own simple syrup.
That lines up into my first, not quite wild story, but my first like story of being a bartend goer.
Okay.
Right? I went to this bar, and there was this cute older lady, and my town was very known for having cougars, for lack of a better term. And I was like, oh, I like gin and tonics. She's like, oh, I should get you a drink. And she's all flirty, right?
Yo.
But she disappeared for like 30 fucking minutes. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go buy my own drink. Because this is taking too damn long. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. It happens. And she comes back and it's like, oh, I wanted you to have this drink. So I have 2 gin and tonics. And I'm like, oh, hey, you're cute. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can only go out with black dudes. And then T-post out of the room, I shit you not, like, just left. And I'm like, what the fuck? I am getting very mixed messages, ma'am. Why did you buy me a drink then? You like gin and tonics. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm definitely getting mixed messages from, like, she was like all touchy too. She was like touchy on like the shoulders. Like, I was very confused.
Damn.
It was very funny though.
Have you ever mixed all the different alcohols from around the world and created a giant drink? I believe that's called the graveyard. It's whatever spills on the bar mat, like the serving mat, you pour that into a cup at the end of the night.
So when you say every drink in the world, are you talking like every iteration of a drink possible? Or are you talking something like a Long Island iced tea, which is like rum, vodka, gin?
I think it's all the different alcohols from around the world. So like rum, vodka, gin. Where it's like
I'm saying,
notably
are we
unique, not a sub.
Are we getting into like the individual brands? Are you getting into like amarettos? Are you getting into the amors, the Italian liqueurs? Are you getting into specialty wines, specialty? You know what I'm getting? Like
I think it's just like wine, right? You pick a wine, you pick a rum, you pick a scotch, you pick a whiskey, you pick a gin, you pick a vodka, kind of thing, right? And you create the drink called alcohol. Which is
I'm about
just
to get
whatever you get.
I'm gonna get a little actually. Scotch is just whiskey.
Oh, okay.
In Scotland.
Oh, okay.
It's literally it. So like if you go to Scotland, they call it whiskey. Which makes it really funny when you go to Japan. They're like, I remember it was Yamazaki, right?
Okay.
The brand. And like we make Japanese Scotch, and literally someone interviewed, what makes it Japanese Scotch? He's like, oh, because we made it in Japan. Right?
So it's
like,
whiskey.
Yeah, it's just whiskey. it's just whiskey. But it's about the branding.
It's about the branding.
It's kind of like how brandy got made.
Oh yeah.
As well, brandy. So this is a little bit of a history lesson. America happens.
It seems like a lot of stories.
This is gonna be every alcohol story I have outside of like beer and wine. Well, this is a different wine moment. So, America happens, right? The French help out. And Thomas Jefferson's like, you know what? Those guys are pretty cool for helping us kick the British's ass. We should send some American grapevines to France. You know a little bit of biology. I'm sure you understand the implications of sending a plant from one biome with its own form of bacteria, natural predators, and diseases
and bugs that are kind of, hanging out in the dirt.
And sending it to an uncontested other wilderness. It nearly kills off France's production, and they don't figure out what the fuck's going on for about 30, 40 years. And so it results in all this bad fucking wine. It's abhorrent. It's horrible, as the French would say.
Terrible.
Terrible. And so they leave a lot of it at a dock. Fast forward 10 years, and someone goes, hey, there's some badass wine we had in the cellar. Let me just try it. Oh, hey, that's pretty good. Oh, brandy, if you leave it alone with some fruit, pretty good. And that's literally how brandy got made.
Pretty good.
Because it's just fermented fruit juice, and you just accidentally distill it over time. I mean, obviously
someone got curious. All of the world's things that have happened is because someone was like, okay, but what if I ate that? What if I licked that bone? That's a thing archaeologists do.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know all archaeologists were dogs.
What if I?
They like to dig and they like to lick bones. I'm just convinced they're dogs now. I'm never looking at Indiana Jones the same way now. Now that I know that he's a dog furry.
He has to lick the stone that's chasing him to carbonate it. Okay, whoa. Stop. There's a jump here. Just let me go. Okay, all right, and we'll continue.
Do you think under that logic, that it was really hard for Harrison Ford not to turn around when the giant boulder was chasing him because he wanted to see if he could get the biggest lick in his lifetime. But yeah, there's a bajillion other stories I could talk about, like the history of alcohol, because my favorite piece of history is when ice gets introduced to the mix. Because in the early 1800s, the modern cocktail we know didn't exist. Because I don't know if you know this, room temperature alcohol is not the greatest tasting thing on the planet.
And
I'm
fridges
sure you've observed
didn't
this before.
exist. There were cool houses, essentially, which is like a little storage that you dig in your backyard that you would keep that was your Kühlschrank, right? That's your cold cabinet. Yeah. You would put all of your root vegetables outside of the sun in this cool, dark place so that they wouldn't grow and whatnot, right? So you could hold them for a long time. And then in the winter, you could store your ice there. But only in the winter, right? Because in the summer, it's too warm. So now that we have fridges and freezers, and ice is not a problem.
One thing that I had to learn very painfully, first as a at-home bartender into working as a bartender, is that not everyone drinks their drink in like 4 minutes. I don't know if you know this.
I'm still working on that gin and tonic.
But have you noticed how the flavor profile changes after it kind of gets warmer? Mm-hmm. And you go, no, that's not the drink I liked initially.
For me, it's actually nice because since I'm drinking a Tom Collins, when it warms up, you notice the sweetness a lot more. Mm-hmm. When it's cold, you get the bubbles, right? And you get that bubbly taste. And then when it's warm, the lemon and the sweetness takes over, so that it's good. And there's still ice in there, so it's still cool.
Sounds like you made a pretty good drink then, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the point, right? Was that at certain temperatures, some alcohols aren't favorable.
Yeah.
And rich people caught on to this in the early 1800s. And then this absolute bastard, if you ever want to go down a very fun history lesson, look up Frederick Tudor. Okay. Known as Boston's Ice King, and would be the prominent man that would start international ice trade. He made a fortune just selling ice to the Caribbean and even up to like Hong Kong. But basically, this huge fuck off war happens, and a bunch of rich people are like, well, we want it for alcohol. Because that's how you flex on poor people. You have
gentrified ice.
He did.
He gentrified ice.
But like ice is such a quintessential part of making a cocktail.
Yeah.
Because it changes the flavor profile.
It does. Can you explain? Because I know there's a difference. You can taste the difference. What's the difference between pouring the alcohol first and then dumping the ice in versus pouring the alcohol over the ice?
Well, I mean, it's about how you shake and stir it, right? Like where it's integrating with the water. Where are you putting the water entry point? Because as you may know, water is the secret ingredient of all cocktails. Yeah. No one wants to know about it, but water is legitimately the secret cocktail that makes your cocktail super good.
Chemically speaking, it's an aqueous solution, and the water helps spread it over your tongue so that you can get it on all your taste receptors.
And there's a reason why some people like scotch with a drop of water, because it quote unquote opens the whiskey up. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I always do it. I always pour my alcohol over the ice. I think that just comes from bartending. Yeah. Because you're always to put the ice in first to help chill the glass, which helps the overall texture and balance of the glass. But that's what I was just taught. I couldn't tell you the official like scientific reason. Because if you go over like order of operations of if you're going to have a drink, what would you notice first? It would be the smell, the flavor, and temperature roughly the same time. And then basically how well balanced in the texture of the drink would be.
Okay. Ecstatic Gamer asks, what about freezing the alcohol into cubes and putting the cubes into a different kind of alcohol? It's a little hard.
That's not possible.
It's hard to freeze alcohol because alcohol has a very low freezing point. entirely dependent on its water content.
Yeah, about the proof or alcohol content. Because, like, I have definitely been like, I want an ice cold beer. And I throw one in the freezer. And I completely forget about it for 3 days. Because life happens. And I go back and I see the beer can has busted open. And I have essentially
a beer
slushy. A beersicle, yeah. And I'm like,
but
that's not ideal.
You put vodka in the freezer, right?
It'll
and
be
then it
perfectly
just
fine.
stays. It just stays.
I
So
know
you
when
would
I
need
lived...
you would need a industrial grade freezer that goes way below the standard minus 25 Celsius.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think the threshold's like 20-ish% because there's some wines. A lot of people like chilled wine, which I'm on the fence about. But if people like chilled sake, you can like chilled wine because sake is just rice wine at the end of the day.
Yeah. What about trapping the alcohol in a hollow ice cube and freezing it? That's some bougie nonsense right there. I don't think.
Hold on, now you're getting way too involved. That's going from
Have you
bartending.
considered putting the glass in the freezer and then just serving it like they do at A&W with them frosty mugs? Like
That's actually what a lot of bars will do.
Yo.
It's actually super easy to do. It's just a lot easier and cheaper. Mostly the second part, to just chill your glasses. But if you really wanted to do this is what I do at home for any chill drink I do, is I run the water really quickly, just to over the glass, and then I put it in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I pull it out.
Okay.
Because the extra water helps evenly distribute the cold.
Okay. Make it chilly.
The only thing that sucks is that I can tell what type of dish soap I've used if I'm not careful. Because glass is actually really good at absorbing flavor, and I hate to say that.
It is. It is so it is a slightly polar thing. This is something, actually, my chemistry thing is you can't hold, you have to make new reagents every day, okay? I can't use the same standards I used yesterday because the glass is polar, and you will find that your ionic stuff will be attracted to the glass. And it will change the distribution of the molecules. So if you leave alcohol in glass long enough, you will notice a change in the molecular distribution. So you get your copper ions that will be attracted to the glass, and then you'll have your other ions that will just be kind of floating about in the center, and that can change your readings, which is why in chemistry you have to make everything fresh every single day. You can't store it.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know that beyond that. It's just one of those, I can tell when I haven't used a glass in my cabinet in a while because it has the dust and cabinet flavor. I don't know how else to describe it, but I can even taste it through my wine or my whiskey, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta rinse this shit out one more time.
Yup. Glass is slightly polar, and when in an aqueous solution, right, when there's water and whatnot, you'll find that there is small amounts of attraction. It won't be something if you leave it in the cupboard for a long time, you'll notice. If you leave a liquid in a long time, you'll notice. But if you do a good old switcheroo, it won't be that bad because it doesn't have enough time to be attracted to the walls. So you're absolutely right that it does flavor it.
Do you have any questions for me, Nelly? I feel like I've just been shotgunning.
Nah. It's been great. I do have one that I had written down. Can you tell me one of the weirdest service requests you've had? Not necessarily the most effed up drink, but maybe the most effed up drink or the most effed up way someone asked for a drink. Because I know, as someone who's worked in the service industry, it's not usually the order, it's the person that's the story.
Oh, I have a very long story. Well, I'll condense it. But it wasn't when I was a bartender, but it's what we call tap rooms. So you only serve beer and wine because you don't have a license for hard alcohol. And generally, it's a fucking brain dead easy job, to be honest. But if you're serviceable, you're nice, and you know what you're talking about beer-wise and wine-wise, it's a pretty cool gig. So it was a Saturday afternoon, I'd say late August. So it's when the town's about to get sleepy where I was staying at the time for work. because my friend opened up a tap room and he needed someone who knew what they were doing until they could get more employees. So it was a very like 3-month employment kind of thing.
Okay.
And this woman, and it's a very tourist town. It's on the beach, and we're like not even 5 minutes away from walking distance, which we offered like growlers, which are just tin cans that you go like, hey, do you want like a gallon of beer to take to the beach? We sell it, you know. So it was the business model. But this one woman comes in with a laptop, and she orders a pretty heavy drink. We have some beers called the double IPA, which is a double India Pale Ale, which normally IPAs are known for their bitterness because they use a lot of hops, right? A very bitter agent. Double IPAs are higher in alcohol, but very sweet for some reason. But anyway, it's 11% beer, and she orders a pint. And I'm like, okay. It's 2 p.m., and I work till closing, which is midnight. This can only go one of two ways. I just knew instinctively this was going to be a bad time. And she downs the drink in like 40 minutes.
Okay.
A pint at 11, and she orders a second one. But she comes up and goes, you look like a guy who can sing. I said, I don't take requests. That's immediately what I said.
Yep. I don't sing on demand. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And she kind of grumbled and went back to her laptop, and I was working with my regulars and all that. Third drink in. Do you know Shakespeare? I do, but I didn't say that. But I'm not going to do it on request. I can do Crispin's Day fucking any day of the week you want. We few, we happy few. With these household names and advantages. I could do it every fucking day of the week. However, fuck you, I'm not doing it. So she's here. We'll fast forward a couple more hours. And there's a bunch of other cute guys that show up, and she kind of like meanders over to them to fuck with them. I'm like, all right, you're their fucking problem now. But it's an hour before closing. And one of the guys comes back, and he goes, hey, can you call this girl a cab or something? Because she tried to buy one of us to go back to her hotel room. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it gets better. And then literally after that, I'm like, yeah, let me fucking call up Tom, because this is a very small town. I know the sheriff's by name. He's like my neighbor. Like, it's one of those, like...
Hey, buddy. I need some help down at the bar, please.
I'm like, Tom, I got a fucking shwasty bitch here who needs to, like, go to bed. She's being way too frisky for the brisky right now. But she comes back in at this time. It's like 40 minutes before closing time, right?
Mm.
I should have cut her off, but at this point, I'm like, all right, whatever. And she goes, look, I have been trying to get someone to go to the hotel room. Can I give you $300 to come with me? And I'm like, fuck no.
Is soliciting illegal in this? I'm pretty sure it's illegal in most states.
Here's the back-to-back. I'm like, ma'am, fuck no. And second of all, if you were a dude doing this to chicks, you would get your ass kicked. And my hands are rated E for everyone. So if you keep this up, I'm going to hit you. Like... Fuck you. But at this point, she's like, all right, I'm fucking leaving. And she gets in her car, and Tom, thank fucking God, shows up. And she tries to argue with the cop for like 20 minutes before they take her to county. But it was just one of those...
She was about to drunk drive right in front of the cops.
Yeah. Because I was like, ma'am, can you just sit down for like 10 minutes? And here's the most fucked up part. The hotel is about 400 feet away.
She could have walked.
I would have happily walked her there. I would have done her that much. Even with all this other shit going on, I was ready to be like, ma'am, I'm cutting you off, and I know you're really shit-faced. So I'll walk you there, leave your keys, we'll put it here in the morning, whatever. We'll get someone else to drop it off for you. Tom was going to actually take her to the hotel, like drive both of them there. But she spat on him like a llama. Yeah, no. So, yeah, that lady lives in my head rent-free. Because most of my other ones are like, local meth head does meth head things. In the same town, I have two really other major like what the fuck stories, but I have a much cooler story that I actually think is really wholesome.
Okay. I have a not wholesome story.
I don't know how big biker gangs are in Canada.
Not very. There's Hell's Angels. That's about it. But they're kind of like a 50% gang, 50% charity. Depends on who you talk to.
That sounds about right for Hell's Angels. But in America, there's something called Hog Wild Weekend.
Okay.
And what it means is that a variety of biker gangs or people who like to go motorcycling across America go through different towns over the summer. And so our bar was one of the people that like got a brunt end of this for our town. I had like 50, very stereotypical muscle-bound biker gang members hanging in my bar, and it's closing. I'm like, fuck, I know what I'm gonna do, because I've been putting very safe classic rock, like Guns N' Roses, hair metal shit, and they're having a great time. They weren't bad customers, but it's one of those, we close early for a bar. We close at 11 or midnight. But there's another bar, not even too far, called the Porthole, where you can fuck off till 3 a.m. They're open till 3 a.m. So we normally like, hey guys, we're closing. If you want to keep the party going, please go to the Porthole. Which in local terms is all bad and good nights end at the Porthole, is the local joke. And there was some grumbling, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put on some fucking Nujabes, right? Some fucking Japanese hip-hop. That'll get them out of the bar real quick. Like, you know how like you put on really annoying music to get
you
people
put on
out
the
of the store?
Macarena and suddenly everyone wants to leave. Like,
yeah. I put it on, and I'm like, hey guys, last call. You don't have to leave yet, but I am going to be out of the door in 30 minutes. That's roughly the time it takes me to close up. And they're fairly respectful. Like, yeah. Thanks for letting us finish our drinks. But right as I'm putting those drinks away, they're like, hey kid, what's this music? And I'm like, it's Nujabes. I really like it, man. Can you tell me the album name? I'm like, what the fuck? So now there's like 40 to 50 grown ass men that like listen to Motley Crue that also like, hey, I know this band called Nujabes. It's really wholesome.
Have you heard of J-Rock?
Yeah. But it was just a surreal moment where everyone was like just kind of vibing to it while I'm cleaning. I'm like, this is not the intended action I wanted here.
My messed up story, it's not a drinking story, which kind of makes this a little weirder because I wasn't working at a bar. I was working at a fast food joint that sells ice cream and burgers.
Oh no.
And there was a customer that came in, and he was wearing nothing but like heels, booty shorts, and a tabard that was made of like garage sale signs. Like he had like a for rent sign with a phone number on the front, and then a garage sale sign on like the back kind of thing with information. Essentially like fun kicks here kind of thing. And he had it stringed together like a tabard with like cheap Home Depot yellow twine thing, right? And he came in and he ordered a meal, and then he dumped out his plastic yogurt container of broken glass and coins and was like, can I afford this? And I was like, yeah, sure, let me count. So like he's not doing anything, but I'm gonna serve him, he's paying, right? Like, so he gets his burger, he's like, yeah, thanks, and then he goes and stands out on the corner. I'm not on a red light district. This is the middle of nowhere. Like, he came ready. I didn't keep track of him, but he left at some point. But like, I have never, when someone says go work the corner, I don't think they mean that. Like,
do you think he's one of those competitive billboard spinners?
Maybe. He was comfortable in heels. That's the thing. He knew how to walk in them, right? Like, I wonder if he was hitchhiking.
That's one of life's great mysteries I can't explain.
Yo. He had a broken wine glass in his yogurt container, and it's like, what?
I think the other really wild story I got was there was this very like happy-go-lucky couple, and they've been drinking all night. And and they've been really cool. They were telling me their life stories. It was one of those, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm glad I got to meet them. And like, do you want to have a threesome with us? And I'm like, no. And they kept trying to convince me to close the bar so we could hang out after work. And I'm like, please, no. No. I mean, you're both attractive, don't get me wrong, but no. This seems like a great way to lose a kidney. I think was what... I don't know. I feel like anyone that hits on me when I'm in bartending mode has an ulterior, like, evil motive. I don't know what it is. Or like, you'll hear this one a lot. It's like, bartender, take a shot with me. And I'm like, no.
You cannot. You're serving the drink. You're on the job, buddy.
I mean, there is some leniency in that, actually. So, like, as long as you're not behind the bar when you take a sip of alcohol, this is really fucking stupid. But in the West Coast laws, because it's in multiple states.
Okay.
As long as I'm not in the bar itself, if I step out of the serving area and I take a sip of alcohol, and it's not like a substantial amount, that's perfectly a-okay.
Okay.
So it's literally this funny imaginary line, or maybe there's a wooden divider, because I had one of those classic like bar ones where you could put it down. But you step out of it and you go, that's a tasty drink, and then go back in. Nothing illegal happened.
Lemao. Nice.
There's a lot of goofy ass drinking laws in America, and eventually, TM, like all my YouTube projects, I have a series I want to do called Liberties and Libations, where I just discuss all the dumbest laws you've ever heard about alcohol.
My
particular favorite
yeah?
is the county that makes Jack Daniels is a dry county. You cannot buy Jack Daniels in the county it's made in. It is illegal to have alcohol in that county.
What? Maybe they had a drinking problem there because Jack Daniels was pretty upset.
I don't doubt it, but my other favorite one is in certain states, it's illegal to sell cold beer. You cannot refrigerate the beer in certain states when you sell it.
Because it tastes too good?
Because they're trying to discourage drinking and driving as the official legal reason.
Fair. I know some of America's voting laws have been shaped by alcohol. You are not allowed to provide drinks to people waiting at the polls because historically, some candidates have offered ale at the poll lines, and it was deemed to be interfering with the election, like you're buying votes. So nowadays, in certain states, you can't even offer water to people waiting in the line at polls because it's seen as soliciting. Which is really interesting. Listen,
America was founded upon drinking parties here. Do you know historically, the George Washington 1787 party, right, was, by George Washington, 54 bottles of Madeira, 60 bottles of claret, 8 bottles of whiskey, 22 bottles of porter, 8 bottles of hard cider, 12 of beer, and 7 bowls of alcoholic punch. And there were only 55 goddamn people at this party.
Only 55. Yeah, it all depends on the state. I know there are a couple of states that have those poll prohibition laws essentially because of that. Not every state. What's on? I can't.
George Washington had a fucking distillery.
Yeah, it wasn't on founding. It was later, but I forget which state it was that it is. You cannot even offer water to people in line at the polls because it's seen as soliciting, and it was originally because someone was offering alcohol.
Really goofy ass laws. I think one of my favorites I know of is, I forget which town it is in Texas, but it's illegal to walk your ostrich downtown on Sundays. Because, and I know it fucking happened. It's the same as it's illegal to go whaling in Oklahoma, which if you don't know the hamburger states, that's perfectly fine. Oklahoma is a landlocked state.
Yeah. Wait.
You cannot go whaling in a landlocked state.
Yeah. Wait. I don't think we have any funky laws here about alcohol. Let me see.
It's because some guy got drunk and tried to harpoon hunt a whale at fucking SeaWorld. Some man literally went, call me Ahab, downed a beer, and then grabbed a spear gun and went for Shamu.
Lamo! Shamu, no!
Shamu's getting turned to sashimi at this rate.
Shamumi. Whoa. Whoa. Shamu, no! Is it alright if we take a quick washroom break? We're about an hour and a half in.
I need a reload, so that's perfect.
Nice. We're gonna reload on drinks. We're gonna just go for a little 5-minute intermission, and we'll be back once we have reobtained the alcohol. All right. Catch you in 5 minutes. Woo! we go. There we go. It works. It works. It works. I have a funky little picture on the screen for us today. Let me just zoom in. Zoom and enhance.
We were talking about
iPad
how
here.
you couldn't have alcohol because it influenced elections, right?
Yep.
Well, this wouldn't be the first time that alcohol has had a profound effect on landscapes and had to use the propaganda was used to control it.
Yup. Here we go. I'll put us down at the bottom.
A very infamous painting called Beer Street in Gin Lane. And it is it was made in 1751, I think. I know it's right before the American Civil War. No, not the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. I'm getting my... Anyway.
This on the left here is Beer Street. You may notice that everyone's doing just fine, you know, doing their work, having a day. And then we go over here to the right to Gin Street, and we have a haggard old woman
with her baby falling to its death.
Yep, just like, ow, no!
They're
I like the starving guy who and emaciated. Her titties are just out.
If you look in the back top right, there's a guy who hung himself.
Yep, he's just hanging there. The building is falling to pieces. It's Britain in rubble.
So this was in response to the gin craze in England, because I'm forgetting the name of the Spanish, like a proper Spain.
Okay.
Princess that gets married into a British hierarchy, but she brings the gift of gin, and the king likes it so much that he makes a decree that there should be gin in every place he could possibly go. So he makes it legal for everyone to distill alcohol.
Oh.
I'm sure you can imagine how well this goes.
Oh.
Which results in the gin craze of England, and it's one of the highest recorded accounts of just massive alcoholism. And the other big problem was that gin was frequently mixed with turpentine back in the day.
Turpentine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because it tasted very much like juniper berries. At least that's what I was told. And so because basically there were no restrictions and it made all grain alcohol super cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beer company's like, fuck, we're not making money on this shit. So they hired this guy to make these beautiful paintings. The gentleman is called William Hogarth, or Hogarth. And this would become an advertising campaign to say that if you drink beer, specifically from England, because it was also meant to discourage foreign consumption of alcohol, you have a nice, beautiful life. Civilization will work just fine. You'll be right, mate. That's Australian, I know, but it's just things will be right. Everything will be honky-dory. Long live the Queen, bangers and mash. I don't fucking know. But if you drink gin, you are the reason society is going to fall apart. And it was highly effective. Actually, it worked really well.
Lamo, I'm going to interrupt you there. We got a raid from Tolkoto. Hello! I'm Vanilla the Pastry Witch. I sell questionable potions at questionable prices, and today we are talking alcohol with Wild Berk. Hello!
Hello there.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Berk?
I'm Wild Berk. I'm a mud golem that likes playing horror games, doing funny voices, and drinking a lot of alcohol.
A resident bartender and drink mixer talking to us about alcohol today. Hello! You were playing The Thing Remastered. We were talking earlier about horror movies and how that messed you up as a kid.
Oh god, it was the like, hey Berk, why don't you remember Disney movies? Because I remember The Thing when I was 6. And like, there's a lot of cartoons where they wanted to make a scary thing, they would use the Thing scream in it, right? And he would trigger this huge fight or flight. Like, I'm just watching fucking normal ass cartoon, good time, and I hear that Thing scream out. The girliest fight and flight ever in my life.
My trigger moment was The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, because Alfred Hitchcock doesn't make horror movies, Mama Neil said. It's a really good movie. There's suspense. It's not horror. I was traumatized for months. I was afraid of walking outdoors. Because there's crows that like to follow people as they go up and down the street. And they're really friendly. And they scared the crap out of me for months. What's the Thing movie where the one had balls drinks in it? I don't remember. See, the thing with the Thing is you don't know what the thing is. That's the whole point. You don't know. It's the Thing. But if you have any alcohol-related questions, we're talking alcohol today. We talked a bit earlier about some funky drinks like the Shark Attack in the Graveyard. And cement mixers.
Yeah, cement mixers. Fuck those. But,
Shark Attacks are cool, though. Shark Attacks are cool. Definitely, if you get the opportunity, try a Shark Attack. I'm gonna pull it up again. I'm gonna describe it because I think everybody should have this experience. So it's lemonade, coconut rum, lemon vodka, blue curacao, gummy sharks, lemon seltzer, and you put grenadine in a little rubber shark. And then when you serve it, you put that rubber shark in the drink, and then the red grenadine comes out into the blue drink.
if you like your multicolored drinks, might I recommend a grasshopper?
Oh, what's a grasshopper?
Hold on. There's like 3 different iterations. Let me see if I'm remembering the correct one for this.
Paladin says, I heard degenerate gin drinker responsible for the destruction of civilization. You wouldn't know anything about that, which... I'm having a Tom Collins right now. Thank you very much. That's different. That's different. That's gin tonic and simple syrup.
So the base one, this is the one I remembered, but it's not the one I wanted for application. Was that it uses crema de cacao and crema de menthe. And cream. But there's another one where you can serve it where all the layers of the drink are separate.
Oh!
So you can see like the creme de menthe in it, because if you flip the spoon over and you pour it at a specific speed, and the coldness and the density of the different liquids will separate each other. It's a really cool bartending trick. I don't think it's outside of aesthetic purpose any better. Because you'll catch me in 3 different moods. I want to make really cool fucking social media worthy cocktail, but that's like 1% of the time of my life.
Yeah.
There is 60% of my time in my life where I'm like, no, fuck you. You know, it's super easy to make a good drink. Go fuck yourself. Take the extra 2 minutes to fucking shake or stir you drink, you stupid motherfucker. And then there's 39% of Berk where it says, fuck it, we ball. And I just put shit in there.
Random alcohol, go! I
remember I once spilled garlic salt into my gin and tonic. I said, fuck it, and just drank it.
Damn. I
don't remember that night very well.
My sister is a nightmare customer. She ordered a margarita when she wanted a daiquiri. And
a classic
she got
mistake.
Mad because it had a salt rim, and it's not supposed to have a salt rim. And I'm like, Sister Nilly, that's a margarita. You want a daiquiri? And then she ordered a daiquiri and she sipped it and she's like, well, it's ruined. I've already had the salt rim. And it's like, bro!
You stupid.
You ordered the wrong drink. You asked and got exactly what you asked for.
She is the reason a lot of bartenders have a sign that says bartender's rules. Rule number 1, bartender is always right. Second rule, refer to rule 1.
Yeah.
Yes, I memorized the sign. Because I point at it a lot.
Yo, you asked for a margarita, you get a margarita. So what if you wanted a daiquiri? You ordered a margarita. You made the sandwich, right?
Yeah, it's one of those, like, there are parts of me when I'm a bartender where I want to help what the customer's doing, right? You want to have them what they want. Other times, no, fuck you, you're a fucking moron. I'm not paid to be a mind reader. If I'm 6 drinks behind and I know there's a group of 12 people behind you, and I have to free ball, like, free pour everything, I'm not doing it by there's a lot of tools we can use in bartending. They're usually called, oh my god, it's more of, I had to say this carefully because it's very close to a sensitive word.
Oh, okay.
It's a jigger.
Okay.
Which is obviously with sensitive times, but it's basically a measuring cup where mine it's 1.5 and 2 ounces on top, and then the other side is 1/2 ounce and 0.75 ounce. It's just make sure you have very precise measurements, really easy to pour.
It's like an hourglass with no ends, right? Where there's one measurement on the bottom. One. Oh, okay.
And it's really nice. Honestly, if you are getting into home bartending, you should get one. It's not even a question because it makes sure everything is precise. And if you're going to do something, let's say, that has multiple sweeteners in it, there's this thing called the Digital Nightmare.
Okay.
It's a personal favorite cocktail. It's super fruity. The base is pineapple juice.
Ooh.
And it uses blue curacao.
Oh.
But when you're mixing a lot of sweeteners together, right, it's really easy to go from, oh, this is nice and sweet, to, oh my god, my toothache hurts, the dentist is rich. So what you can do is you can pour all your sweeteners. If it's like, hey, it requires 1/2 ounce of one sweetener and 1/2 ounce of another, just pour it in the ounce portion, right? And if it goes over it, you don't have to worry. It's no harm, no foul. You have both the sweeteners in that when you pour it into your... I usually use a Boston shaker. This is for industry stuff. I'm actually holding it right now. Here's the metal.
Ooh.
But that's just it improves consistency. But when you work at a club, like in that situation, you're free pouring. You don't got time to think. You don't got time to measure this. You got to pour by the heart and the muscle memory that you know.
Yup.
When I first got hired at a bar, the first thing I did when I was getting trained was they would put shot glasses. I'm talking like 20 of them. They'd fill an empty bottle of alcohol with water, and they just make me free pour each one of them to be right with water.
Ooh.
And I would just do that for... It felt like hours. It's probably more realistically 30 minutes, like for every day.
Yep.
But it felt way too tedious and too damn long. But yeah, that's a really good way to consistently learn it. But yeah, that's my story of fuck you, customers. Know your shit.
Know what you want before you get it. I still have yet. You have recommended a sidecar. I've yet to go. There's no places that mix drinks in my town. Like I had to explain what
States.
a Tom Collins was. I can go to the big city. There's bars in the big city. I asked a friend from college if there are any like mixed drinks bars that's not like I pour beer kind of bars, right? Or it's like I mix gin and tonic and I get a gin and tonic. Kind of, right?
Can they make a rum and coke as well?
I have a story about that.
Tell it.
Okay. I went to Hot Pot, all right? I ordered a rum and coke, okay? She came out with just rum. No ice, nothing, just rum. Like
Oops.
2 shots. She filled a third of a cup with rum, like a drinking cup with rum. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I ordered a rum and coke." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she went back and just topped it up with coke. So I got a solid 50-50 rum and coke.
50-50 split?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like,
Now that's my kind of rum and coke.
okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
So
Lucky
this
me,
is right
right?
So Omega was here for this one. He can verify this story. It was a group gathering of IRL people I knew, and we went to our local dive bar. They're not a bad bar. I actually love them. But they're very much you got cheap food and you got cheap drinks. And we never had a bad time. And I ordered a gin and tonic, and then everybody else ordered a gin and tonic. A great start, right? And we get back, and it's that JoJo scene where they all take the sip of the drink and put it at the table. But we all looked at each other and we're like, this isn't right. They served gin and tap water, not club soda, because the line was dead.
No!
So it was just really sad, watered down gin. And I hate being this guy, especially when it's like around New Year's, right? Where it's always stressful for everybody. And I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry, miss, but this gin isn't right. And you're welcome to take a sip just to verify. because I think it's flat. I think your line is flat. It's not a big deal, but I think the we call them guns.
Yep.
But it's those dispensers that have all the different things you can do on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think your gun's flat.
Yep.
I think your gun's flat for your tonic water.
And those
sooner or later we go ahead.
Oh, I'll explain after the story's done.
But she returns with 6 new gin and tonics that were magically fizzed up.
For those who don't know, for soda guns, for soda fountains, etc., the way it works is you have a canister typically in the back, in the basement, wherever, of compressed air that a company comes and fills your compressed air with, right? That sweet carbonation, fills it with CO2 gas, and it bubbles it in that way, and then you get your syrup separately from whatever your food provider is. So you get like this giant sack of just Pepsi or whatever drink syrup, and then it mixes at tap, essentially. So you get that fresh bubbly thing, and it's also for storage, right? Because getting compressed CO2 and Pepsi syrup, because you tap into the water lines, right, for your fountains, it makes it a lot easier for storage. So if you ever do get a flat pop, you can tell them, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they might just have to open the tap more so more CO2 comes out. Or they just need to swap to the next canister. That is the thing. You can tell them that their pop is flat, and they will thank you and be like, oh, nice. If they don't notice it themselves, that it's already going, it's not bubbling enough. But hello, Petroleum. We got a raid from Petroleum Taco. Hello. I'm Vanille the Pastry Witch. I sell questionable potions at questionable prices. And we're here with Wild Berk talking alcohol today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Wild Berk, local horror extraordinaire and voice actor, but also bartender. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
Give him your money. He makes the mixed drinks. Would you like to, actually, while we're on this, would you like to explain what the piss shot is?
Oh, fuck off. Okay. So the piss shot, lovingly named by fucking Hino Babina, if you want to check out them, is a drink I created for Offkai to celebrate Joshiko's talent at the time, which was for Margot. And it's basically a modified Irish buck, because I have some revolutionary news for everybody in this chat. There is no such thing as an original cocktail. It is a deviation of one of 5 cocktails that I can go over if you wish. But
yes,
it's a variation. There are no spins. It's just, oh, I changed this ingredient. You made a new drink. Yeah, it's not groundbreaking, but I wanted to do an Irish buck, but because she liked lemon, I decided I was going to add lemon and honey. Right? They're both yellow. It makes it really sweet. It makes it, but
it's
with the whiskey
color.
I used, it is her color. And I was trying to keep it on brand, on theming. And she seemed like a really sweet person from the few times I watched her stream. Because the problem was that, you know how it is with life and your streaming. You don't have time to watch other VTubers.
As soon as you start streaming, it's over, buddy.
You get to pick 1, maybe 2 streamers you get to enjoy outside of your friend group, or people you're like, oh, I rated into this person I've never seen before, but they seem cool. I'll hit them up later for a collab. Like, you don't have time. You don't. So I was like, oh, they're really sweet. I'll make a sweet drink for them. And it turned out very yellow, like very dehydrated piss yellow. So it got the dubbing piss shot. And I think I heard it about 15 times the time I served it. On the 6 hours I was nonstop bartending at Offkai, I think I sat down for like 15 seconds before getting back into it. It was a little longer, but it was just almost nonstop.
Damn.
And if those who go into Offkai this year, I'll see you there again too.
Bartending, baby! The lineup's a secret for now, but be sure to stop by.
I actually am excited. I need to confirm that I can bring it.
Yeah?
But I managed to talk to a local brewery who made a Japanese plum lager.
Ooh!
And they were willing to give a 6th barrel, roughly 40 pints worth of beer for the event.
Nice.
Because we're not serving full pints at the event, right? So it's going to go much further, much further.
You're serving a cup of alcohol, not a pint.
Yeah. And it'll free my hands to do other stuff because it's really easy to fucking pour beer.
And for the less experienced bartender helpers, it'll be a lot easier to have you on the focused drink mixing, and then your less experienced compatriots can pour beer in between.
Oh yeah, I still got to figure out who's going to help me out this year, because that was the funniest part about serving at Offkai. Every other party had 2 bartenders, and I was fighting for myself.
And you were the most popular party.
I don't know about that part. That I was too busy making drinks to confirm that part. I was so busy because I had all my equipment, because I do precision measurements. I am a home bartender. At the end of the day, I worked clubs. I don't like doing it that way. Especially when it's a private party where I'm like, oh, I don't have to follow the fucking rules. Surely not that many people will show up, right? There'll be like some people. I'll have like a couple pre-made drinks. Those went out in like 10 minutes. But like, I made like half a gallon of each of the drinks ahead of time.
Damn.
Some of them very easy, and I'm like, uh-oh. Because like the Neon Nightmare isn't a complicated drink, but it does have like 5 ingredients that are all balanced. So they all have to be roughly the same amount of each other. That is a nightmare to pour freehand.
Oh, pain.
And if you mess that one up, it goes from like, oh, this is a really tasty drink to like, oh, the textures ain't right. It's like I drank sandpaper. So it's a really sensitive drink.
Damn. Speaking of fun bartending stories at Offkai,
Yeah?
do you have any fun bartending stories specifically from Offkai? For those who don't know, Offkai is a VTuber-based convention in San Francisco, I believe, right?
It's in California. That's about as much as I confirm.
Yeah, the venue changes, and it's only been, I think it's on its 3rd year now.
We're going into the 4th year, yeah.
4th year, yeah. So, it is a very new convention made by VTuber fans for VTuber fans. So you'll find that the convention is a lot of VTubers go to hang out and meet there. A lot of VTubers host events, and companies host events there. Notably, Joshiko Productions, which is the company that berk was serving for at that time. But you'll know that there's...
served the fish as well from Face Connect.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I served him. Because some guy tried to hand me a credit card to tip me. He's like, what do you want me to do with this? I don't have a fucking card reader.
It's San Jose, which is one of the municipalities that make up San Fran, like how Santa Monica is part of Los Angeles. Okay.
Okay.
We smell slightly worse than a normal anime con. Yeah, you'll find lots of VTubers go there specifically to hang out and meet up with other VTubers. I know people, like Nyaru is one of the coordinators. She doesn't like make the thing happen, but she's one of the VTuber coordinators to help people set up events and stuff there. So like they're a pretty they've got a lot of foundational groups there. But do you have any goofy stories specifically from Offkai VTuber related?
When I was bartending or attending other parties? Because the second day I wasn't working.
Both. I've never been.
On the day I was serving itself, it was actually just really nice because I would start to get tired or like... In a lot of cocktails, an unsung hero is the garnish. Like the little shavings of like an orange peel or lemon peel. Because they add a lot of depth to the flavor, or they help change a drink dramatically. So like... The piss shot, right?
Yeah.
Needed fresh lemon peel. I needed to zest them. But there's only so much I can prep ahead of time. So eventually I start to run out of those ingredients.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I need this fresh thing. I'm like, give me like 3 minutes just to like hash out like 2 or 3 lemons just so I can get ahead of the curve, right? And someone would be like, hey, I worked at a restaurant. Do you want help just me doing that while you keep making drinks? I'm like, you are too kind, sir. You are too nice. It was just a really nice thing where people would be like, berk, you look tired. Do you want to take like 5 minutes? And it's just like, just give me a chair. I can keep pouring in a chair. And Bunzel was a fucking lifesaver, friend of the channel. They would get me ice when I was running low on ice. It was mostly just because I was nonstop bartending. I'll tell you about 2 people I disliked, and then I'll go into the rest of the wholesome stories.
Okay. Get the saucy stuff.
It's not. There wasn't really anything too saucy. There wasn't enough time to process.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it was literally, next, what do you want? All right, cool. See you next time. That was 90% of my interactions. There were some people that came up multiple times, and I got to know them a little more. And those are more in the wholesome territory.
Okay.
But there were 2 that I immediately went, you're on my shit list.
They make themselves known early.
So it was this guy that looked like the most stereotypical, for lack of a better term, douchebag Kyle. I have no other word for it.
Okay, that
But you
means
know what I'm
different to
talking
me than you.
Okay, so I'll talk about it. White, tight, muscle-bound shirt with a shaved head.
Okay.
Looks like a very stereotypical guy that punches walls.
Okay.
And he just goes, I want 3 ounces of whiskey. I'm like, no. You'll get 1.5 ounces like every other cocktail I make with whiskey. Oh, fine. I didn't say it. I'm like, you're getting free alcohol, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Like, but it was just, I respect the audacity to come out and just be like, I want 3 ounces of free alcohol. I'm like, no, everyone gets 1.5 ounces. Like, I did the proportions. You're getting 1.5 to 2.5 ounces of hard liquor per cocktail. Right? Roughly. Because I was told not to get everyone too drunk, and I failed at my job. I got a lot of people drunk. Because I only know how to pour heavy.
For context, the party that Berk was serving at, you don't pay for the alcohol. It's one way that you can skirt liquor serving laws, right? Specifically when it comes to the transaction for alcohol, if it is a drink that is just served, there's a lot more lax rules than if it's a drink that it's paid for, which can skirt some licensing and other, especially like for hotel requirements where it's like, oh, if you want to pay, you have to use the hotel stuff, and then they mark up the prices. So you have a free bar, and then you encourage tipping so that you can make back your money.
It was also like, it was supposed to be a celebration for the talents. But you know, when you're making free drinks, and the other thing was, I actually got my server's permit for California, in preparation. It was one of those. I may not be professionally employed as much as I used to. I do volunteer bartending now for a couple bars. Because if I need the extra scratch, because my day job covers me well enough. It's more if I want extra, if I have free time, which I don't. But you know, it's a free drink. Don't be a dickweed. Don't be a pendejo. Don't be a cabron. Don't be a puto. Whatever funny swear words you want to come up with. just ask politely for a drink, and I'm more than happy to accommodate as a bartender. But the first time I served there, I didn't think in a very holistic way. So I only bought the materials I needed for those cocktails specifically. So it made a limit on some of the things I could do. So, for example, let's talk a good old Blue Lagoon. A Blue Lagoon is a very nice fruity drink. It's very sweet. It's just vodka, blue curacao, and lemonade.
Okay.
I have 2 of those ingredients. I don't have the lemonade.
You gotta squish the fresh lemon.
Yeah, no, but I was saving those for the piss shots.
Yep.
But that's my point. I would have to squeeze those lemons, and that would slow production down, right? So that's what I was running into frequently, was just like, oh, I just don't have a very holistic bar. I have just these specific cocktails in mind. And I can make half a cocktail and you can substitute it, right? And some people were actually very flexible with that. Like, oh, hey, you have Coca-Cola, right? I'm like, yeah. Why don't you just pour some of the whiskey and make me a whiskey and Coke? I'm like, I can do that for you. That's fine. If you're being polite about it, I'm fine with it. Just don't be. I want 3 of this.
Give me.
Oh. Yeah, it's the give me attitude I cannot tolerate. It's a behavior you should not reward.
Yeah.
But the second one was, and this woman came up. Are all your drinks just sweet? I'm like, fuck you. Internally, but I'm like, fuck off. But externally, I'm like, yeah, I made all the cocktails with con-goers in mind. Because when you think of a party, you typically don't make bitter drinks. You don't make
Yeah.
sour drinks. And my favorite sour drinks to make are grapefruit, which I don't know if you know this. You're a chemist, you might know this.
Mm-hmm.
Grapefruit fucks with a lot of medication.
It does.
So this was part of my wheelhouse where I just didn't know how to make a lot of cocktails confidently in that flavor profile outside of grapefruit. And I was not about to make for VTubers, which, no offense to our comrades in arms, we all got fucking mental health issues.
We all got at least 2 medications. I'm on 3.5. Like, we all got 2 medications we're on at least.
You don't become a VTuber because you're mentally healthy.
Yeah.
You don't come here because you lived a healthy, normal life. Neurotypical life. Yeah, but I'm just saying, it was something I pulled from the lineup because I was afraid it would fuck with people's medication. That's an unsung hero part of bartending, is where you're like, I have to consider what the client needs. So it was just one of those, I'll keep them safe. They'll be semi-sweet drinks, but I can make some other stuff if I have to. It's just, I didn't gather enough, but I just remember that sweet drinks. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, and that one, like I said, I'm still bitter about it. I can think about it right now. That shows you how much I'm pissed about it. And it was just one person out of dozens of people I served. I am somewhat petty. I am somewhat petty.
Just a little.
But otherwise, it was really sweet stuff. Of course, I got hit with the bartender. Have shots with us. And I'm like, please no. I don't need to get crunk at this place. I need to have a clear head. I am not about to be somehow involved in a twit longer.
Keycast has some interesting facts when we were talking about skirting liquor laws a little earlier.
Yeah.
If you operate any free bar within a large group of people in his state, you must give local police a good idea of how many people will roughly be there at least a week in advance. That way they can send squad cars with enough room for the guests. He knows this because he chatted with the cops at his sister's wedding.
So, my grandfather was an officer in the Oklahoma state.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very similar incident, but the difference was this was for a gambling den on top of that, which gambling is technically illegal. But what they would do is like, how many guests are you having over in a week in advance? And they would go, cool, we'll see you at 4 p.m.
Everybody scatter!
Because all the cops wanted to gamble there too. And this was that old era where they're like, all the slot machines, they had these like shutters that would go down with paintings that would conveniently hide them. And they go, oh, there's just a painting here. And then turn around and be like, nothing weird here. But they skirted the liquor law because it was technically a open art gallery was what they said it.
Oh, an art gallery.
Well, as you know, bougie taste comes with boozy taste.
That's when you put a holographic screen in front of a strip club and say it's an art gallery. It's a VR AR art gallery.
I can't wait for Hatsune Miku sponsored strip clubs
Hatsune Miku strip club.
That are now known as art museums.
Yo. Technically speaking, as someone who knows that end of stuff, all you have to do is create a YouTube video with a black background. Okay, you just so the way Hatsune Miku's concerts work is you have a black screen, right? Sometimes you straight up use a TV, but for the holographic quote unquote ones, it's actually just a black mesh screen that they project onto. Oftentimes they'll use smoke to increase the density visually so that you don't see through the mesh, right? But you just need a black screen that you can project onto, and then you play videos of Miku dancing using like animation stuff. Like you can make a Unity video or an MMD Miku dance video, and just with a black background, you project it on there, and then it's like she's dancing on stage. Obviously, the more technical ones, like HoloLive does, you have screens, and they're also projecting the stage, quote unquote. Sometimes it's a double layer projection where they have a back screen and a front screen so that you can have physical dancers in between, right? To make it seem real, quote unquote. But that's all you technically need to do a Hatsune Miku concert is a black screen that you can project her dancing onto. Which is really cool. That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
That's wild.
So you could make videos of her pole dancing on a black screen and then make a setup stage with other pole dancers and just have a black screen in the front and projector on there.
I don't feel safe.
Fun tech stuff. Woo!
It's cool. I do remember what got me into holographic concerts was ironically Splatoon concerts.
Yeah.
They actually have entire idol shows in Splatoon.
Yeah.
That's how I first
that.
learned about it.
I saw the Callie Marie one a long time ago. I was like, hot damn. Miku pioneered it all the way back in year of 2008. But way back in yesteryear of 2008.
Speaking of pioneering, because we're in the VTuber scene, what do you think about Kizuna Ai coming back?
Mixed feelings. I don't know if it's the original voice actress or not, but I know... Yeah, it's not going to be her, and company-wise, it's not going to be her. The way she was so iconic was she was allowed to scream, holy S and FAQ, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what made her iconic, was her yelling that. So you have audio clips of her being like, ah! Right?
I mean, I have so many clips of her RE7.
And that's what skyrocketed her to fame. It's because it's a very cute Japanese woman that yells something in a cute voice absurdly, right? Like, that's what skyrocketed her into fame. They redesigned her and they made her a little too realistic, and she was the right thing at the right time when she was. And I don't think they're gonna strike gold twice. I'm not gonna lie. I think Hololive capitalized on that. Very well. So I think, especially because they had that whole NFT, the reason why the voice actors left was separating because of NFTs, right? So she had her final concert. So I think that they're not gonna strike gold twice with her, especially with the modern restrictions, the modern English speaking restrictions they're gonna have. She's just not gonna hit that same internet gold that she did. Before we move on, there we go. Sorry, I gotta copy this. Right timing. I've been kind of waiting till our stories are done to announce these, but we got a raid. I'm Vanilla the Pastry Witch. I sell questionable potions at questionable prices, and today we're talking alcohol with Wild Berk. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Wild Berk. I do horror games and occasionally yell funny things, but I also do acting and bartending. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. We were just talking about Kizuna Ai's comeback, and I personally don't think she's going to strike gold twice, because the whole thing that rocketed her into popularity was the whole her screaming, "Fuck you!" kind of thing, right? And, you know, where it's like cute Japanese woman yells absurd things. That's kind of what rocketed her into success, and no Japanese company is just gonna let her say stuff off the cuff now, and that's what got her into fame. So, and it's not even the same voice actress, so I don't think they'll take off as much as they had.
It was interesting, but
yeah. Got a raid and run. Have a good night, Aaron.
the Raid and Fade, a classic.
Hell yeah, get a drink, get some snacks, relax. We're talking real late at night today because you actually came here right after work, and you were he was so ready to hop on. Like, he was gonna basically come home, sit down at the computer, turn it on, and we'd be going. And it's like, no, please. Have a minute.
I actually was double booked for work, by the way.
Oh, God.
But thankfully, the other work I had, they're like, can we postpone? I'm like, thank fucking God. There's just not enough time in the day, which, you know, you asked me about drinks, right? That you might want me to recommend. And this one's called a New York Minute.
Okay.
It's a drink it's a vodka drink for the non-vodka lover.
Okay.
Is what I like to call it. It's pretty simple. It's an ounce and a half of vodka, any kind of Applejack.
Okay.
Half an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce grenadine, and a dash of absinthe bitters.
Ooh.
And It's one of those, you need to learn how to use a shaker, and you need to learn how much ice you need to use, which is 5 cubes. If you go any more, you fuck up.
Oh.
It'll dilute it too much.
Okay.
This is the part where it goes from like, this is the line that's really awkward for me personally, is that I either put way more time into learning how to make cocktails, or I stay at my current, like, it's the difference between being good at a fighting game and being competitive at a fighting game. Or whatever you pick, where you're like, oh, you're pretty good at it. And versus I gotta just...
We got no life
sit down and practice.
Yep, got no life this. Sorry, guys, I'm disappearing for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And that's the part of, like, what I love about alcohol. It's the part of the reason I hate making alcohol. But yeah, I would try the New York Minute. That's a really fun one.
Okay, I'll write that down. I have a small list. I have to try the sidecar. I have to go to like a bar in the big city trademark because nobody here knows how to mix drinks. I am a British retirement home of a town. So we don't have any good restaurants at all. Nobody knows how to spice anything, okay? Everything's bland because people like bland. Yeah, to please everybody, right? And there's no fancy food here. We got a fish and chips joint. That's as spicy as it gets. Like, things don't last here. So I have to go to the big city to get alcohols, as it were. Anything non-standard. I had to explain how to make a Tom Collins to a bartender here. So it's like... Ooh. not the prime. Yeah. We're starting a GoFundMe to move me about 100 kilometers away so that I can be in walking distance of a decent bar. Absolutely necessary. This is when we just have to invent portal technology so that I can Valheim portal to your house and be like, drink.
You wouldn't even be able to get through the portal home. You wouldn't be able to stumble into it by the time I'm done. I have a terrible habit of turning everyone I know and love into an alcoholic.
Mom and Neil was concerned about how much I drink, and it's because she usually just has a glass of wine at dinner, right? And then I got her hooked on gin and tonics. Right? Because it's like, if I'm having one, I'm going to make her one, right? So she sees that I constantly have alcohol in the house now, right? Where it wasn't a thing before. It was just like, oh, we'll just have wine with dinner. And I was like, yeah, I'm on my second gin and tonic. And she's like, oh, slow down. Oh, my God. It's like, Mom and Neil, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink because I have to. I drink because I like the flavor. It's not a dependency. Yeah. I just like the taste, Mom and Neil. I can switch to pop whenever I want, which I have already. I drank the rest of my gin, so I have to drink pop now.
I am reaching for my 4th drink already. But this is the other problem, is that, like, I have a really high tolerance, so I feel bad when people are like, go shot for me.
No.
And unless you're an experienced drinker, which I know my limit too, which is 10 shots. 10 shots is my exact cutoff.
Damn.
Because any more, if I need to be functional, I have to stop there.
Depends if I'm eating and depends how fast I'm taking the shots.
So that's you just activated a very fun. I remembered the other purpose. You know how I was talking about aperitif and digestif?
Yeah.
An aperitif is a lighter alcohol meant if you haven't had a meal yet and you want to have a drink. It's specifically like an opener to help make you hungry for the meal.
Oh.
And it accounts for the fact that you don't have food in your stomach when you're drinking. And
here I just pour doubles and eat after when I'm like, I'm feeling tipsy. Time to get some bread. Like, that's okay. I forget to eat. I make a drink. It's like, yum, tasty. And that's like, I should eat something.
Then the goddamn amnesia dark descent vision kicks in when you have too much darkness. You're like, there's a for anyone that ever wants to get like the romanticism of bartending, there's a beautiful anime called The Glass of God. The Glass of God. Okay. It's just romanticized bartending is what it is. Okay. It's pretty cool. It's one of those, it really, for lack of a better term, it really strokes my ego because I know all the answers to when the test. So it goes up on the screen like, what would you pair this with? I'm like, ooh, that would go with an 18-year blah blah blah, and then they're like, that's right, it goes with the 18-year blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah. It really.
Did a good job.
It's like hyper verbalized children's TV show for me because it validates all my knowledge.
Dora the Explorer, but for bartending. What pairs well with a red wine? That's right. Steak. Good job.
Yeah, to me, but it's a beautiful romantic show for what it's worth. But for me, it just validates all my bartender knowledge.
I need to sit down with you and make Dora the Explorer a bartender. That needs to exist. It has to be very explicit, where it's just like cute little anime girl being like, wow, what kind of mixed drink goes with this? That's right, a 1908 whiskey.
It's just me in the corner, passed out, Yamcha death pose. There's like 6 bottles of whiskey around me.
What does the Budman say? Opens book, mud pools out with a face?
So if you want to talk out a fucked up story,
Yeah.
it's the time I almost died from alcohol poisoning.
I have a story about that after. Continue.
Okay. So 4th of July, in the true spirits of the founding fathers.
So 4th of July. Okay.
Are you familiar with sangria is?
Yes. For those who aren't.
Sangria is basically a wine with a bunch of fruit you put in it. And usually you make them homemade. There's a variety of different ways to do it. But the most, like, quote-unquote infamous way is if you did Spanish red wine, brandy, fresh chopped fruit, cinnamon stick, and a little bit of sweetener. And some carbonation if you're feeling really sassy about it. I fucking love sangria. It's the reason I don't drink sangria. Because it's one of the few drinks I can't gauge my alcohol consumption on.
Oh, no.
Because it's why I prefer drinking my vodka neat. It's why I prefer drinking my gin in very specific cocktails. Because I know how much is going into it. Sangria, I don't know if I had a bottle or 3. I know I'm having a good time. But the problem was we ran out. We had to make another sangria.
Ooh.
And the only one who had alcohol in the house left was me. And the first thing they grab is my Harlequin orange liqueur. And Harlequin is just an off-brand of like Cointreau, higher-end orange liqueurs. You might know them as triple sec.
Okay.
Or blue curacao is basically, curacao is a type of orange liqueur. They just make it blue because it's pretty.
Yeah.
I forget how it makes it blue. It's one of those I don't care
Dye.
enough. I just know it makes it blue. Yeah, basically. But it's a higher end one. But the thing is about Harlequin over almost every other triple sec or orange liqueur is that it's 40% alcohol. It's 80 proof.
Oh.
And it tastes just as good as the others. The difference is that it's here to get you fucked up. So you effectively get 3 times the usage for 60% less the cost of any other one on the market for a higher quality.
Nice.
So my brain goes, that's good math. Anyway, they dumped the whole bottle of that in there to start off with. Basically, by the end of this concoction that we made, it's probably 96 proof, so 48% alcohol. Because I only drink overproof stuff because I'm a fucking awful alcoholic. And I do like 4 cups in about 45 minutes.
Oh, no.
I don't remember past this point.
Oh, God.
But apparently, I was very enthusiastic about golf, which I've never done before in my life. So I wonder what brought this on. Who was I trying to bullshit, and why was I trying to troll them? Because that's usually when I double down on a bit, is I'm trolling somebody.
Yep.
But they fucked up, and it's one thing I realized: the people I was living with at the time, I cannot trust them in a real alcoholic moment.
Oh?
A trained nurse said, "Oh, Berk is drunk. Let me put him in the bed on his back."
No!
That's how John Bonham died.
Yeah.
Drummer for Led Zeppelin.
You're gonna aspirate
Somehow,
if you throw up.
I did.
Oh, God.
I did throw up, and somehow I woke up with lack of oxygen and went, oh shit, I can't breathe. Let me turn my head to vomit. And then I blacked out again. That's all I remember.
God. Oh, Lord.
And it was a big mess, obviously, and people were like, holy shit, what the fuck is wrong? But that was the moment I learned I can't trust my friends in a true,
crap.
maybe Berk didn't account for alcohol today. And I nearly died. I knew I nearly died because it was the same level of oxygen deprivation I had when I used to go scuba diving and I ran out of air before.
Oh, Jeebus. Oh. Never lay someone on their back. If they have to be
Always on
laid
the side.
down, yeah, always on the side.
And preferably, if you can, put them in a goddamn shower.
Yeah.
Put them in a bathtub, a shower, because A, it's going to be easier for you to clean when they vomit, and B, they can wash themselves when they wake up.
See, that's my story.
Yeah.
I was the DD. This is why I like being the DD, is because I remember this.
Oh, no. I was the DD. I did my service. I did 7 years of being a DD, and then whoosh.
Whoosh. If I am going to a place with new people, I prefer to be the DD because I don't know who I'm with, right? So it's like
That's
I can
fair.
enjoy, like I can have a drink to open the night, and then I'll have pop for the rest, right?
That's the DDD approach.
Yeah.
The designated drunk driver. No, kidding.
No. Like you arrive there and it's like, oh, have a beer. Yeah, sure, I'll have a beer. And then the rest of the night I'm drinking pop, right? Because it's like, if I'm going to be here for 4 hours, a singular beer as a graduated license is not going to be like, oh yeah, I can't drive, right? And it's not like any fancy drinks. Like, okay, sure. But you cut yourself off after the first drink and no hard liquor, right? Because you need to be good to drive.
You can technically do 2 ounces of hard liquor, and if it's a 4-hour party, you can get away with it.
Oh yeah, technically, but
Don't listen to the devil on the shoulder.
You
notice
never
me,
listen
but-
to the devil on the shoulder. You have one drink and you're like, I'm done. If you have that drink, you're done. Like, be safe. So I'm the DD, right? Everyone had this thing called Screech.
No.
Yeah. So keep in mind, this is Canada. Weed has just been legalized across the country.
Ruh-roh.
Weed has just been legalized across the country. I am DDing at a party for one of my work friends, okay? So I go with the manager at the time, a Sacrio. I'm a supervisor, and we go to one of our coworkers' parties. So it's a bunch of their high school friends. I know some of them because I would have been in grade 12 when they were in grade 10 kind of thing. I went to school with the kid's brother, right? I know a good portion of these. The Sacrio is just like, yeah, alcohol!
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! So, of course, they go and they green out. Sacrio hangs out with me and the Newfie, and they drink drinks, him and the Newfie, and then all the young kids go into the tool shed and green out. It's essentially getting blackout drunk, but on weed. You smoke and hotbox yourself, and then they come down and they crack open this thing called Screech, which is like
Newfoundland Screech, right?
yeah, I think so. It's like really high. It's like 80 or 90%.
I think if it's the one I think it is, it's a Canadian Jamaican rum. It says it's Jamaican rum, but it's made in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's 80 proof.
Yeah.
Which is 40%
80
alcohol.
proof. 80 proof. It is rough nuts, okay? And they have greened out and they drink a shot of it. Newfie, fine. A Sacrio, fine. Everyone else vomiting horribly. Do not mix weed and alcohol. So
In the States, we call it crossfading.
Yeah, woo! So one kid is vomited all over the carpeted living room, and I'm
Oh, no.
here cleaning it up, and the host who's plastered is like, no, like, you're so much for cleaning, oh my god, like, absolutely can't stand. There's this other kid who was bragging, he was telling us his story. He worked as a stripper in his uncle's bar.
How do I feel about that?
He worked as a stripper in his uncle's bar. He is vomiting, and they're like, what do we do? And they're trying to lie him down. It's like, no. Leave him at the toilet. Keep someone with him at all times. Like, if he wants to sleep, lay him on his side, right? Like, you have to have a designated person with him because this guy suffered liver failure and had to stop drinking for 6 months.
Yeah.
because he partied too hard. He do not mix drugs and drink.
Fatty livers, no joke.
Yup. So then one of the drunk kids instantly sobered up, like instantly, and went mom mode on this kid who vomited on the carpet. Like, he was drunk, he was having a good time, instant flip. He's like, Chris, we talked about this.
So, you wanted to hear the off-guy story.
The kid is like, no, my mom can't find out, don't take me home. And the kid's like, Chris, we're going to your grandma's. I told you not to green out. How many times have we talked about, no, you're not going to your grandma's. Nilly, would you mind driving us into his grandma's? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So I go and drive, and he's just in the back. Literally went from drunk AF to this guy's mom.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy too.
It's like, thank you, Nilly. And he's carrying, like, I have never seen someone sober up over the course of like a minute. Like, that was the fastest turnaround I've seen in my life.
Called adrenaline, first of all.
Yeah. Just the sheer disappointed mom energy of this friend where it's like, Chris, I told you about this. We talked about this. Come on. I'm so glad he had a conscience. Like, that his friend is a Chad.
What an absolute unit.
Yo.
So you asked about off-guy stories, right? So the second day, there's a second wave of parties. The hotel staff have been fighting with the con staff. It's been a big thing.
Yup.
Oh, that's shit. I forgot. I remember at some point, someone pulled me aside, like, the party might end early. And I'm just still shaking and making drinks. And I'm like, do I just keep pouring? He's like, yeah, keep pouring. And that was the end of my knowledge of the intense battle between hotel staff and con staff for these parties. But second day, we're dropping by other places that are doing the house party or the room parties, right? And I go to this one where it's got like 12 cocktails, and these people had fucking money. I didn't know what my budget was, so I kept it like under $300 for a convention of, I assumed 150 people. That was what I budgeted for my drinks. This one was all top shelf. All, like, you had absinthe, you had amaretto, you had amaros, which are like high-end Italian liqueurs. All this really nice shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, I absolutely get plastered there because I knew what the fuck was up. When I was like, I don't know who made these cocktails, but somebody spent like $5,000 on all this shit. And I'm not missing up on this. They had like Roku gin, which is a really nice Sakura Japanese gin.
Okay.
So it uses Sakura petals. It's got a very sweet, I would almost akin it to rose petal flavor.
Ooh.
It's very nice. It's super light. You would love it.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm obviously, I've already know where I'm going to get shit faced. I know where I've done my service. I've done my part in Starship Troopers. I've done my part, and now it's my turn to get, fucked up. Tip the guy well. And I'm just talking with people because, it's really interesting interacting with VTubers and VTuber fans and seeing where people lie on the spectrum and what they do. Because I learned, a lot of VTubers are actually government agents.
They work for government offices, or
they work for government offices.
VTubing is a psyop. I'm hired by the Canadian government for Canadian tourism purposes.
Listen, I think I met like 7 of them. 7 people that worked in capacity for the government, and one of them worked for the FBI, and I'm not shitting you.
And none of them are Tomoe Umari.
None of them. But it was one of those, this is alarming how many I'm running into. But a lot of them were, they do very interesting jobs. And some of them were like younger college kids that were just trying to figure out, they're like, I didn't know what VTubing was, but my brother's into it. And he said, hey, come on over. I'll sponsor you. And then I'm listening to this kid that's going to be like an engineer. He was really talking. He talked the fuck about suspension bridges to me. His schism was at a peak level, but I was drunk enough that I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm here for suspension bridges. This guy is standing by the hotel bathroom, and I've seen this body posture before. And I'm like, oh, fuck no. I'm like, hey, man, you all right? No, that's Scottish. That's just my default. Hey, are you all right? And he goes, yeah, I just need to get in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, fuck no. And I immediately bolt to the bartender. I'm like, do you have bags? What? There's a man that's about to vomit the fuck out of this room. I need a bag now. But I went from plaster, just haha, to there's a situation. And I went full. I went full pit boss. Like, you get me some paper towels. I'm gonna work on this. You sit the fuck down. Get him some water. Like,
instant work mode.
Yeah, and more importantly, the bartender was like, "Thank you for dealing with that. Can I make you anything?" I'm like, "Give me a double shot of the Roku gin with a splash of tonic. I need it." And then right then the fucking party got crashed and we had to leave.
Aww.
No, I took my vodka. I got some gin. I got my drink. I was just it was one of those, like, I have never felt that, like, haha, I'm drunk. I'm having a good time. We have a situation that needs to be addressed.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been a moment like that, but it's more like I haven't panicked when I should. I know that, like, in the event of an emergency, I can lock in, okay? No matter what it is, I can lock in and get stuff done. I will panic, but there is a decent amount of time that I can delay that so I can get stuff done, which is good. Because you really don't know until that happens, right? Until an emergency happens, you don't know if you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be calm and cool and get all this stuff done, or if you're going to be like,
the male fantasy of what do you do when a bear shows up? And you're
right?
Like, oh, well, I would use Krav Maga.
Yeah,
I've never done Krav Maga.
The
Why do they say
bear.
this?
Like, what happened was I was in chemistry, right? And I obviously I'm on medication for it now, but I had anxiety disorder and I didn't know it yet, right? So I was unmedicated, right? I'm having a panic attack. Not yet. I'm doing my thing. I set up the water line to, like, cool my fractional distillation thing, right? And it's a closed unit where the water goes in and out. The tube broke and it sounded like a gunshot because the pressure was so high. And I flipped my crap. And I was able to get the Bunsen burner, like, off and everything all safe and good. It took me like 5 minutes to set down. And then I leave the room and then I have a breakdown. I got everything safe. I look at my teacher. And I'm like, I need a minute. And I walked out. I didn't even listen to what they said.
Based.
And then I had a breakdown outside. And they're like, Millie, are you okay? I'm like, yeah.
She needs some milk.
I need some milk. And then I go back in and it's okay. I needed like 5 minutes of, like, breathing exercise. I was having, like, a right panic attack, and my partner was the one that froze in headlights. They didn't know what to do. They just stood there and stared at me while I did everything. And then they look at the teacher, they just froze in place from the sound, right? And then I left and had my panic attack. So that's when I realized I couldn't count on my partner.
So, when I worked for the professional theater company I worked for,
Yep.
I got called in for a 2 a.m. repair job.
Oh.
Always a good time. Always a good. Well, I'm up at those hours, so it wasn't like, oh, what the fuck, man. I was like, I've only had a beer. It's fine. Like, you caught me at the perfect time. I was about to pour open a rum and coke and just go fucking watch Batman the Animated Series, because that's what I was really craving with my ADHD focus at the time. So I get there, and I work on a 30-foot high catwalk. And I don't know, are you familiar with what a black box theater is?
You're gonna have to remind me. It's been a minute.
So a black box theater is what it sounds like. It's a big black box. But it goes up to 30 feet. So we use these suspension systems that can roll across the stage, because it's just a square.
Yeah,
The upper areas where all the lighting is. So I get it adjusted to work on this one lighting row, because apparently there wasn't, like, a proper electrical current. And it was a real fucking easy fix, actually. It was just, someone fucked up the grounding.
Okay.
So it was just a wire strip. It took me like 4 minutes to fix. It wasn't a big deal. But as I go to tighten it, the one of the fasteners let loose, and this is the Parnell light.
Okay.
It's fairly big. It's about, I would say, roughly a meter tall. Roughly.
Yeah.
It's about. But it's steel. It's all steel with a 1,000-watt bulb in it.
Big ouchies.
So it's a big. It comes sliding and hits my head, and I fall over the railing, and my leg hooks on the suspension ceiling. And I'm just like, oh. That's not good.
That's not good. No, sorry.
And I'm really glad because I just very calmly just like did a sit up and pull myself back up because it was caught by my leg, and I just got my hand to like. Ugh. But after like 10 minutes, I'm like, I could have fucking died. But in the moment, oh, that's not good.
Oh no, that's not good at all.
This is inconvenient.
Oh
A
no.
minor setback, if you will. Or at work, I deal with this giant blade. I call it the raptor claw. It weighs about 30 pounds.
Yeah, from each license.
10-ish kilograms, a little bit more. It falls out of the guard and barely misses my foot. Like, it cuts into my boot.
Oh boy. That's what
And I
steel
go-
toes are for.
That's what it's for, and those boots are gone now. They were cut through.
Damn. Oh
But it was
boy.
just a- That was a good thing I wore the boots. And it just kept working.
Good thing. This is what PPE is for, guys. This is why you wear it.
But I also have a very, very delayed. Oh, we could have died there, didn't we? That was that was a downright dangerous situation we were in.
It's an interesting phenomenon because it's happened on stream. When I play horror games and the jump scare happens, like the running sequence, my heart rate drops. It doesn't go up. I was playing FNAF and I had a, like, I am on the meds for the heart problem now, but like I was averaging 110 as like my normal heart rate, right? So you would think that
That's
it would
not good.
jump up to, it's not, I'm doing better now. Turns out, standing up makes my heart think, oh, we're exercising now? So I was averaging at work 140 BPM. It's just like
That's
standing
really
at
not
a
good.
tilt. It's not good. And it's like, no wonder I'm tired all the damn time. My body's like, we're in go mode right now. Just casually standing there, right? So I have stuff
Your body
right now.
is playing Metal Gear Rising,
It
but your
was.
brain is playing Sudoku.
Yeah, it is. So my heart rate was averaging 110 at the time. I'm playing Security Breach, and the jump scares happen. You would think, oh, the heart rate should go from 110 to 150, right? No, it drops down to 70. I lock in and get out, and then as soon as the scary sequence is over, then it jumps to 150. And like this is tracked on stream via heart rate monitor.
I gotta do that then. Because I remember I had a moment like that in the game Iron Lung. Which, for those who don't know Iron Lung, it's a game where you're trapped in a submarine where you can't look out of it, and you have to rely on basically, for lack of a better terms, those car sensors that detect, hey, dumbass, you're getting too close to the curb.
Oh, Lord.
While you're under hearing loud, strange noises and under intense pressure.
Oh, that's a horror game.
Yeah. But at one point when you're driving and all the sensors are going off, a fire also breaks out in your submarine.
Oh, no.
And again, it was one of those, oh, that's not good. And I was looking for the fire extinguisher really calmly. Like, that's just my default response. The fucking nemesis at RE3. Oh, that's not good. Just walk away from it.
Yep. Oh, no.
Just gonna leave.
It's nice to know, like, once you have these experiences, right? It's nice to know that, like, if something bad ever does happen, I have the sense to deal with it and then freak out later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that deer in headlights. I'm going to be the person that gets things done. I will have a time after, but I got this.
I've had my deer in the headlight moments, but it was the worst case scenario I think of was that I did a lot of, it's called outdoor adventure leadership.
Mm-hmm.
There's
You were
lot
a Boy
of terms for it,
Scout.
but
You were the
like,
scout of the boys. You were the team
close
leader.
enough. Close enough. But we had to do this fucking exercise. We had to build a bridge to cross a small stream,
Okay.
and no one wanted to step up for leadership. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do it, because the whole exercise was that only 2 people could talk through the whole exercise.
Oh.
I didn't realize this. I didn't know the other person's name. And we've been in the group for 3 years.
Oh, no!
And I was so ashamed, like, that's not my fucking name. That I just immediately shut down from social anxiety.
Oh, no! I had that at high school when I was in grade grade 12 or something, I sat with a girl. We'll call her Aria, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were in musical theater together. I ate lunch with her every day. After 3 months, I got too embarrassed to ask what her name was.
That's very fair.
I didn't learn her name until the second semester, 6 months into school. After the first 3 months, I got embarrassed about asking. I was like, so, anybody got plans today? We gonna hang out? Who's got some ideas? Like, you get the really, like, probing questions of, like, can you give me your name? Or how about we talk about this person in third person? Because it's funny. That kind of thing.
Every type of probing to, like...
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
And then I would get it, and then I'd forget it immediately. It was horrible.
So, I have a coworker that can't remember my name.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls me Bentley.
You got the nickname at work. You've made it.
So, but as like I like having rapport.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent so long calling him fake car names. I don't actually know his real name, and I see him every day at work. I just know him as guy with fake car name. Like, that's what my listing is, even in my phone.
I gave someone a name at a Sacrio's work, okay? I hitchhiked along to a Christmas party because it's like, there's food and drinks. Do you want to come? Hell yeah. I don't know a damn person here. I don't work here. I don't know anybody here. I'm hitching a ride. Hi.
Okay.
My name's Nilly.
I thought you legitimately stuck a thumb out and you're like,
no,
I'm going to this party. Are you going? And they're like, no. And they lock the doors. They drive off in a different direction with you.
No.
You still showed up there.
A Sacrio's work party. I decided to go because it's like food and alcohol. Hell yeah. So I'm starting to know their names, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, this is the second time I've been here. All right. Some people know me. I've never met them. Great, cool party. One of his coworkers showed up. Okay, this is a work party. They hand out like the vacations and stuff, right? Everyone's dressed nice. They got the shirts and ties and stuff. Looking nice, right? This guy comes in, unkempt beard. He's one of the journeymen. Unkempt beard, just a white t-shirt that you'd wear in the shop, jeans. And I quietly whispered to a Sacrio, Wilson. And it spread around the table. And then it spread to his workplace.
Oh no.
So he's either Wilson or Tom Hanks.
I would say it's Tom Hanks.
It's interchangeable, but it's like, oh no, I don't even work there. He got a nickname in the worst way possible. You earn your nicknames, right? Well, he earned one.
God damn it.
He stuck out like a sore thumb. Everyone's dressed up. You looked like a castaway.
That's rough.
It is. That guy's worked there for years, so I'm sure it's all in good jest. But damn.
He's silently cursing you. Who the fuck said that to me? I've been a goddamn member of this team for years. Years, goddamn it. I don't have to dress this way. I've earned my right to dress this way. Who are you to fucking judge me?
Yo.
Has that evil dartboard where he throws the darts at that person's face. It's you.
Yup.
Oh man.
No. I got one more topic for the night.
Okay.
Drink recommendations. I had mentioned that I like fruity stuff, but I wanted some general cocktail and mixed drink recs for other people. We've mentioned a few for any entrepreneuring alcoholics in the chat. If you want to go to a bar and try them out, do you have some more recommendations? And also, we're gonna get a nice sip and a stretch. I got a care package a while ago. I'm currently drinking Coke Zero. because I drank all the alcohol in my house already. What are you having, Berk?
Right now, I actually had my own Empress. So I did Empress, limoncello, lime juice, and then a couple orange garnishes. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's tasty.
Nice.
That's
a
one
good
of those.
drink.
I'm just like, fuck it, we ball. Kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's the 39% where I'm like, I'm just putting things in. I know it'll taste fine.
It's like how everyone has that poor man soup where it's like whatever vegetables are in season and potatoes, right? This is poor man's drink, whatever I got in the cupboard, plus whatever I got in the fridge.
Exactly. It'll be good. It'll be sufficient.
Yo.
If you want to talk the classics, I always think a Negroni is a perfect drink. However, I understand it is a very bitter drink. It is Campari, gin, and vermouth. It is a very bitter gin drink.
Ooh.
With a hint of sweetness at the end. So, I personally adore it, but it is not for everybody.
I feel.
Because Campari itself is hard.
What would that pair with for like eating something if I want to have a bitter drink like that?
To be honest, I usually just drink it straight.
Okay.
So,
you just enjoy
I'm
savor
thinking-
the flavor.
Yeah, because Negroni is an end of the day drink for me. It's usually what I have. I usually order it at the end of a week.
Okay.
It's like my first drink of the week, where it's got, in my brain, it has the bitterness of work, but the aftertaste of the weekend.
Oh, so a nice way to wind down from your first work day, so it doesn't feel like you've hit the grind wheel just yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I had to pair it with food, anything greasy, really. I have no better description for it.
My go-to is poutine. You can't mess stuff up with poutine. When in doubt, what does this go with? Poutine. It's bar food. Perfect greasy stuff. Or wings. Everything goes with wings.
I'm about to say, if you're looking to step out of your comfort zone, but it's in a similar like flavor profile.
Yeah.
Have you had a mint julep yet?
No.
So it's bourbon, sugar, water, and mint leaves.
Okay, can you spell? It's a mint which?
Julep. Julep.
Okay. Wings go with wings. Always go with wings.
Exactly.
A mint julep, and what is in there?
Whiskey.
Okay.
Bourbon specifically, if you're doing it, which is just bourbon just means it's a Kentucky. It's kind of like how champagne is made.
Yeah, champagne.
Bourbon is made in Kentucky, typically a minimum of 4 years in the barrel. Bourbon's typically known as a sweeter whiskey.
You had me at whiskey, but you had me even more at sweeter whiskey.
But and then they add sugar and water and
Okay.
mint leaves. Typically, you use crushed ice for it because it helps melt a little faster and keeps the cooling process.
Okay.
You're a big gin person. I don't know how much you have champagne, but
I've never had
it's another.
champagne.
It's just bubbly wine, bubbly white wine.
Okay.
But it's called a French 75. It's
Okay.
a classic gin, champagne, which is just sparkling wine. It doesn't have to be champagne. Don't fucking shoot yourself in the arm trying to have a nice cocktail. Lemon juice and sugar.
Nice. Okay. That's solid.
I'm really just going down. I'm touring the classics right now. Have you ever had like a Moscow Mule?
I have not had a lot of mixed drinks because there are no mixing bars in my area.
Well, this is the fun part where you get to do it at home. It'll be a lot cheaper than doing.
Woo! Before we get into the next drink, I'll have you go over them. Hello, Crimbo. We got a raid. I love Moscow
Raiders.
Mule because I like lime and ginger. Let's go. I'm Vanille the Pastry Witch. I sell questionable potions at questionable prices. And today we're talking alcohol with Wild Berk. Let me give you a shout out. Would you like to introduce yourself, Berk?
Yeah, hello, I'm Wild Berk the Frog here. I mean, I'm Wild Berk. I do horror games and occasionally funny voices, and I do a lot of alcohol.
Woo!
And I stream. But that's not important.
If you're someone that is going to Offkai, check out the drinks. You might get to say hi and get some good drinks.
You'll know it because I'm probably the only bartender wearing suspenders. I dress up really nice when I bartend.
Nice. So we were just talking. Can you explain the Negroni, mint julep, and French 75 again for those who just entered?
So Negroni, I actually consider it one of the grandfathers of all cocktails.
Okay.
And all it is gin, Campari, and sweet vermouths, equal parts. So it's a fairly easy pour, and you stir it. Do not shake it. So TLDR, you shake something if it's really booze heavy, and you shake it if it has like a lot of citrus or egg white in it. If it has eggs, because you need it to froth really nicely.
Okay.
It helps with the texture, but if it's something like a Negroni or a mint julep, they're always stirred.
Okay, and the mint julep again.
It is bourbon, water, sugar, and then ideally muddled mint leaves that you use as a garnish.
Muddling is the act of bruising them. You kind of... You muddle about with it. Where the phrase comes from.
My favorite phrase I ever heard is it activates the chemicals of the thing, and I'm like,
it
are they
does.
masochistic?
You break the outer layer so that the oils contained inside can come to the surface, essentially. My favorite drink right now is the Tom Collins. I'm a gin and tonic gal. That's my weakness. Tom Collins. I am a grandpa drinker. I like gin and tonic.
Tom Collins is basically adult lemonade.
It is.
And it's a brilliant drink.
It is.
And it's what got me into learning how to make a lot of alcohol, how to bartend for large events, because when I was ordaining a wedding in Ensenada, Mexico, so full mariachi band, full big ass Mexican family, I brought a couple bottles of gin with me because that's my preferred drink as well. And I'm like, oh, I'll make a Tom Collins, but I'll make enough for everybody. And after learning that lemon and lemon are very hard to purchase, because lemons and limes can be interchangeable in the Spanish language.
Oops.
I know someone's gonna be like, actually, dumbass. But I only have 2 years of high school public education Spanish, so I'm not the best at fucking talking in Spanish. I just know how to swear at you really well. I get that all figured out. And next thing I know, I spend the next 3 to 4 hours just making Tom Collins for the party after I do the whole do you in Spanish. After I get the whole fucking procession done, I'm just making drinks. So yeah, Tom Collins are fucking goated. And I have a lot of people who hate gin, and then I'm like, how about a Tom Collins? And then like, Berk, what are good gin recipes? I'm like, I fucking knew it. You just had a shitty gin and tonic and you thought all gin was bad. Fuck you. Gin's amazing. There's a reason it created a crisis in Britain. There's a reason.
It's good. I got hooked on them. So every year I watch the League of Legends World Championships. Count
that's a great start.
T1. Let's go, SKT. Faker's got 5 world championships under his belt. They have to invent new awards for him because he keeps getting them every year.
God damn it.
So, friend Exquori makes gin and tonics. I don't know how he got on them, but he makes them for us. I also enjoy a good mojito, right? But he does this thing where he puts a cored pineapple in a mason jar and tops it up with gin and just leaves it in his fridge for a month.
And
then
basic distillation.
Yeah.
Distillation.
It makes it really sweet, very nice, and then we made gin and tonics with that, and they're so good. Oh my god. You don't taste the gin, right? Because the sweetness of the pineapple, and then you take the pineapple core out, right? And you cut it, chunk it, and put it in, right? And then sometimes you get fresh strawberries, put them in the bottom. Cool. We're just making whatever we want now, right? It's so good. You don't taste it. You get sloshed.
About to say, the Mud family has their own version called the Hawaiian Martini.
Oh, yeah?
So we do vodka, some kind of coconut rum, and you pour 2/5 of vodka and 1 bottle of usually Malibu rum into a container, and you take a whole pineapple, you throw it in there, and you let that sit for a month in a container.
Yeah.
You serve it over ice.
Ooh, nice.
No one knows it's alcohol. It's just alcohol. So yeah, I understand it. You've infused what with pineapple? You're gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
It's just
It's so sweet. For those, I did like 3 years ago, I did a cooking stream where I did Elder Scrolls cooking with my friend the Emo Healer. And part of that cookbook is they teach you how to make quote unquote skooma, right?
oh no.
It's literally just soaking apricots in vodka. You pour, and simple syrup essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mix like 1 cup vodka with like a 1/4 cup simple syrup and then a bunch of apricots. And then you just let that sit for a month in a jar. And then that's the base for skooma, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That was their recipe. I'd have to go check the book again. But, and of course it's good. You soak something with sugar and more sugar. You soak it with sucrose and fructose. Of course it's gonna taste delicious. Like,
I mean, that's the basis of all jungle juice, the most popular drink in universities.
yeah. I never see. I went to like trade university, so I didn't get to have the parties. We were all too sloshed in homework to get sloshed.
Oh, I mean,
There
don't
was
get
a
me wrong,
bar
I was
on
an
campus
antisocial
too, and we
alcoholic.
just didn't have time.
I was an antisocial drinker, so it was even better that all my roommates were just happened to be alcoholics. So what we do is we buy, you know, those like purified water containers, like
Yeah.
5 gallons, the ones you get for office workers. Those like what we bought one of those because they're only like $8 back in the day.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we're gonna fill this thing with alcohol and soda and fresh fruit that we personally would like cut and then put it all in there, and we let that just go for a month. It was like $300 worth of alcohol in this thing.
You had the wine cooler, literally. Like,
Yeah. No, it was the best drink I've ever had to this date.
Nice.
And it has stuff like star fruit in it too. It's such a fucking
Ooh.
wild drink to have. But oh yeah, if you let the fruit do the heavy lifting,
Hell
it makes the bitter
yeah.
alcohol flavor go away.
woo!
But it also means when you eat the fruit, you can get drunk
Hell-
in public.
See, that's
without
the
people
best
think-
part. You make
Yeah.
the best part of making a gin and tonic or a Tom Collins with fresh strawberries is you muddle the strawberries and put them at the bottom, right? And once you're done the drink, you get to eat these gin-soaked strawberries that are just
They're very tasty.
They're so good. It's the best part. You do not eat it first. You leave it to last. You let it soak. Oh, you were talking about sangrias earlier. I've come to realize that the bar that I go to that I had to explain how to make a Tom Collins, their quote-unquote sangria is putting raspberries in wine. That's
I
it.
mean, it's a start. They're on step 2 of step 4 of making sangria.
I just because I remember like Mom and Nilly getting it, and I'm like, that does not. It was like a white wine with raspberries. It did not have like this robust color that I'd imagine that like having cinnamon and all of this stuff in is like it's not the right color.
Ooh.
Like they just
Ooh.
put house wine and raspberries and call it sangria.
It
I'm
was,
gonna have to make one for Mom and Neil now.
It's super easy to make.
Pain.
It's like mulled wine.
pain.
Not mold. M-U-L-L. Mold wine. It's like a winter thing.
Yeah, drink stinky boy wine.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
Stinky.
stinky. I remember when I was in college, the ego says, me and my class buddies took a bag of assorted airplane bottles and poured it in a big-ass glass. And they said I got so sloshed, I fell down the stairs.
I would believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's not a me drunk story, but it is definitely one of those unreasonable someone is being drunk story.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one of the years I was roommates with a guy who I would end up teaching a self-defense class with, because he was like 3rd level black belt in Shaolin Kempo. That was his exact martial arts. Needless to say, he could kick anybody's ass in the room, and I personally got hit enough times with safety gear to know that this man could beat my ass to next Thursday and then some, free of charge, express shipping. But I knew another guy that was this Taekwondo guy, but the thing is, we had an unofficial fight club, Well, I mean, that's the whole point. It's Fight Club. You
It's
don't
Fight
talk about
Club.
it.
It's
But now they're
unofficial.
no longer in it. It don't give a shit, right? But even I was able to beat this guy in a fight, right? Like, I'm not the best fighter, but I definitely know how to take a hit, and more importantly, I know when to sink a hit. Anyway, he stumbles in drunk to our place, which I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I want to fight. We'll call him the Pain T. We'll call him Pain T for this
Pain
one.
T.
Yeah. I want to fight Pain T, and it's Pain T's date night. He's a man of habit. Friday evenings, he's off work. He doesn't have school. He gets to have his date where he sees his girlfriend once a week. This is a time you do not fuck with this man. And he tries to stumble up the stairs. And he's all like, oh, I'm going to kick his ass. And he fucking hits his jaw on the 4th step. Man got kicked his ass by gravity.
Ah.
Oh yeah, there's a variety of goofy ass shit. I remember this other time, I hear this noise outside my window, and I see someone squatting in essentially our front yard. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they're crying. So I'm like, are you fucking dying? Why are you crying? It's a woman taking a piss on her front lawn. I'm not gonna say, hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm not here to judge that part, but you're making like baboonish noises, for lack of a better term, howler monkey behavior.
I have a couple. All of these stories are from the same party.
Oh no.
All of them are from the same party. We open up, okay, with this kid. We'll call him Tommy. All right. And he wants to be cool and smack off the top of a beer on the side of the table. Show everyone what's that. He's not hitting it. Sacrio's like, just give me the bottle. I'm like, oh, let me, like, my car keys has a pocket knife on it. It has like one of those like Swiss knives. Let me go get my bottle opener. He's like, nah, I got this. He keeps smacking the table. And Sacrio's like, give me the bottle. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go grab my hunting knife from behind my computer. I'm going to open this. I'm like, no, don't. And Sakuro's like, give me the bottle.
I think my favorite trick.
And
go ahead.
Sakuro grabs the bottle, twists off the top, and then gives it back.
Beautiful. I feel really dickish now interrupting. Holy shit.
What were you going to say?
My favorite trick I see a lot of old timers at the bar I serve at on the occasional is they all have wedding rings, right? And they use their wedding ring as the leverage to pop open the top for every time. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They're committed. They're
And
committed.
they're really committed. Their marriage literally gives them beers, but it's just one of those, how the fuck does that not hurt your skin?
Right? Same party. We're going out.
Jesus.
Okay? So before he gets this open, we cut off someone. We cut off this girl. Okay? We'll call her April. We cut off this girl. And so Tommy takes the glass. Now he has 2 Guinnesses, okay? One, a Sakuro twisted off the top, made him look like a dumbass. The second one, we cut this girl off. So he takes it, and he tries to double fist these beers. And he just pours it all over his chest. He does not get his mouth. He pours them both back, like does the whole thing with his mouth where he's like, ah, like he's gonna catch it, and then it just goes all the way down his, like, he doesn't hit the mouth. He hits his chin, he hits his chest, his shirt, and we're like, you're cut off.
I hate this man. I've never met him, but he's on my shit list.
So we decide to go for a walk to sober up to the local park. Right?
Ye old classic. Pour, no water, just walk.
Yeah. So I'm babysitting these people. We have April, who is white girl rapping Rap God horribly. She's drunk. She's stumbling over every word. We have Tommy, who is trying his best in the dew-coated playset to climb to the top. He is going to fall and hit his head. I'm trying to wrangle him down. Sakurio is just sitting. I said, sit, and he sat right where he was. Like, he's a very obedient drunk. I said, you sit. He just sat, and he sat there until I said go. Like, I had to turn back and fetch him. So, we get a call, or I should say I get a call, okay? Because another coworker is coming. We're all coworkers. Another coworker, another manager is coming to the party, right? Mm-hmm. Because he had to work. So now he's coming to the party, and I get a call saying that he's on his way. I was like, okay, we got to go back to the house, guys. So you know what Tommy does? He's like, I got this. I'm going to run back. He takes his shoes off and runs back. Like, he's wearing the sneakers. He's like, hold on, I gotta speed. And he takes the shoes off and then runs. Like, it's gonna make him faster.
You don't know this, but he's wearing his Sonic socks underneath it. And they have little blue fires on the side to make him go faster.
Yeah. Many pens were lost. The second manager was notorious for stealing pens, so many pens were lost that night. They disappeared, only to reappear at work.
The magic.
The magic. Who knew? Who knew? But that Tommy kid was wild. He was wild.
I was about to say, I don't think I ever want to meet him.
No.
But I want to hear more stories.
Man, the kid got hit by a car, and he's like really proud about it.
What? Oh no. No, he's one of those kids. Oh,
yeah.
I fucking
He's
dealt
like,
with one of
I got hit
these.
by a car, and it's like, you sure did, bud.
You should have seen how I left the car, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You
no,
think my
it's like,
damage is bad? I hurt the car more.
Yeah. He's like, your car came and I got hit and I just like completely rolled off the top. It's like, you sure did. I can tell. I'm so glad your head's safe. Good thing there was nothing in there at the time. Wow. That is a kid.
The man's using 8% of his brain and the 92% of it's his airbag for when it gets hit.
It's just shock absorption for the 8 brain cells that do work.
God bless those 8 cells. They're putting in work and they're trying.
Yup. And this is why I DD. At the same party earlier that night, I met these are all coworkers. Coworker, the emo healer, introduced me to a girl that was a high school friend of theirs. And he walked up and introduced us as, you both like yaoi, right? I've never
Who the hell
met
starts a conversation like that?
Right? I've never met this person. It's like, yeah, this is nice. So we're both standing there. He's like, yeah, cool, good, chat, and walks away. And we're like, hi. The kind of person that reads yaoi is not the kind of person that goes up to another person at the party. Is like, I can tell you're into men banging. So
You like big hands?
Yeah. There's only one person that I met that is that kind of wild. I met her at a card tournament. She sat down across from me and she's like, I'm the Fujoshi queen. And I was like, oh, do tell. And she's like, yeah, I bring R18 doujinshi to work, like comics, and I read them in the break room. My coworkers know not to ask me what I'm reading anymore. And it's like, what? You read full out kink on your, like, not words, pictures, graphic novels?
That's not horny on main. That's prime horny.
Yeah. She just reads them like it's the news. Like, that was the worst part. Like, she's not even, like, enjoying them as one does with that kind of material, right? She's just casually reading, like, intense porn at work, the freaky stuff. It's like, this feels like it should be sexual harassment. Like, I should feel safe going into the break. I should feel safe going into the break room, you know? Put a magazine cover on or something. Like...
Be ashamed, goddammit.
Not even HR wants to deal with her, right? It's like, what? This is the only person I've ever met that's been like, yeah, I read porn at work. The break room.
I'm physically feeling my New Vegas kicking in of degenerates like you belong on a cross level kicking in. Maybe the Legion was right, guys. Hear me out.
Read it in private. Not everybody wants to see porn at work. That's why it's called not safe for work. You want to read it on your phone when no one's looking? Okay. You do not bring full out porn comics at the lunchroom and read it in front of your coworkers.
God damn.
Berk, get the cross.
I will go on a holy crusade. What the fuck?
Right? It's like, I've read spicy stuff at work, but like you gotta be discreet. Like when you open, it's like opening Twitter at work. It's like a landmine. You don't know when you open that app, you don't know what's gonna be on there. So you best be like angling that phone.
Imagine enjoying social media at work. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. You never know. I like a lot of artists, and I know for So for social media purposes, for any entrepreneuring social media person, you're supposed to have no greater than a 1-to-1 follow ratio, right? You ideally want to have more people following you than people you follow, right? You want to keep that ratio high because it boosts you as a content creation account and whatnot, right? I don't care. I like art. Mine is almost 1-to-1. If not, I follow more people than follow me because I went to wheedle down my list and it's like, oh, I like that artist. I like that artist. I found out I follow 90% artists, about 25% porn, right? And then about 10% of them are VTubers. And the reason this math doesn't add up is sometimes they span all three demographics.
Dilly, I have had 4 drinks. You would never get me to confess this shit. Holy shit.
You can check out my following list. There's a lot of artists on there. It's public information.
This is why fucking the man in charge of a funny bird now called X got rid of the like feature.
No, he hid it, and then he made bookmarks, and then he got caught bookmarking weird stuff, so he hid those too. And I'm just sitting out here like, I had finally come to accept that, like, people are gonna see my likes. I'm gonna like that. I don't care. I like dishwashers art. All right, cooch out. Serve it.
I thought it was going a completely different direction.
I have come to accept that, like, you know what? I just like art. You look at my follow list, you'll find all kinds of art. Chibi art, R18 art. Spans the whole spectrum. I don't care. Look, it's public. Base dishwasher enjoyer. Do you know who dishwasher is?
I don't. That's why I said I didn't know where the sentence was going. I was like, I just enjoy dishwashers. And I'm like, I had a thing where I liked vacuums when I was like 8. I just like go to stores and look at vacuums for like 10 to 15 minutes.
I will. I'll link them to you. They have done art for Azure Lane. They have done art for Blue Archive. And they do a lot of. Gist. Yeah, there you go.
You could have just said Azure Lane, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they do Azure Lane art. They do what I'll call semi-realistic anime, where it's a very painterly style, but still very distinctly anime. The bodies are as close to realistic as you can get for anime, and then the heads are anime. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do not open on stream.
Oh, it's too late.
Too
late.
Yeah, it's too late. You see
Thankfully,
Frieden and Fern. Thank God there's no screen sharing here. I can link his Twitter. I cannot link any individual post.
Yeah, I was like, you need to sign in. I'm like, no. And then I went through a different account.
So, yeah. I see. So it's like, I understand if you, like, I have purchased some AO3 fanfic before because it was that good, right? But you don't read it at work. It's a consent thing. Your coworkers did not consent to seeing that at their job. It's entirely they didn't sign up for this. You respect them. But yeah, peruse my following and you'll see a lot of art there.
I'm just thinking, what's that fucking puppet show on it? It started as a YouTube series on Scum. They said, "Good gravy, she's naked."
Yeah, I couldn't give a...
Blorton's son.
Oh, okay.
Blorton's son.
I couldn't give up anybody. I essentially just unfollowed accounts that were graduated / inactive for over a year, essentially.
Oof.
And that only saved me like 20 followers because it's like, oh, I like that person, I like that person, I like that person. Yeah. We did not thin anything down. Like, I've come to accept that I will not be social media famous. I will not relinquish my horny art.
This is a good line. God damn.
Damn. Mm-hmm.
So back to cocktails.
Back to cocktails. Cocktails.
Yeah, that sounds like I know. Speaking of cock.
Speaking of cock, mixed drinks. You'd recommended the Negroni, Mint Julep, and French 75.
Those are a good spread. A smash. Any kind of smash is good. I recommend a gin smash for you.
Okay.
Which is typically a traditional smash is just like bourbon, sugar with fresh fruit.
Okay.
Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's good.
But you could just get rid of the whiskey and make a gin or rum. But you need to use fresh fruit and then muddle them. Typically, like the one I do for my gin smash is typically raspberry or blackberries.
Those are my favorite berries. So that sounds great. I also do like whiskey. I like maple whiskey. I don't know if you have that.
Make sure. What, maple whiskey? Yes, I have some. It's not exclusive to Canada, goddammit.
No, I know, but it's not as maple flavored. Everything is everywhere here, and I know outside of Canada, like you might have to go into like, I don't know, specialty sections to get it. I remember in Germany having to go to a specialty section to get maple syrup.
I mean, we have to go to a specialty section for it, but like, America is kind of hog wild with flavored whiskey because we have like, obviously, Fireball is the most famous flavored whiskey on the market. Cinnamon whiskey. And then there's stuff like Apple Jacks or Jack Daniel's Honey. Obviously, apple flavored whiskey. Oh, that's a pretty good time, right?
Hey.
Honey whiskey, it's very sweet. But the one that's absolutely nutty, and I hate to say that I love it, peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, there's a Reese's peanut butter brand whiskey that you can get.
What?
Yeah.
I have not heard of this.
Hold on, let me find it. So I got Empress 108 Elderflower Gin as my gift for helping someone move. Asacrio got peanut butter whiskey. That was like Reese's brand. Peanut butter whiskey. It's like peanut butter cup whiskey. Where is it? Oh. Cup whiskey. Oh, like it has their branding and everything on the bottle. Ooh, how do I... Is it... Alcohol.
I just can't get over that it's a Reese's specific. But then again, because I don't go out into public very often. I work. I go home. It's one of those, what do you do? I work. What do you do then? I stream. When do you go outside? Good question.
Good question. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it.
Mountain Dew is just making mixed soda alcohol drinks now. You can just straight up buy like Baja Fresh Mountain Dew. That has alcohol in it.
I've never had a Baja Blast, but I'm down to get Baja Blasted with alcohol.
God damn it. It'd probably make a hell of a good Mai Tai or a Shark Attack because it's already got the food coloring.
Nice. There's cursed Doritos liquor, apparently. No. Shark Attack is so
I will
good.
talk about the worst drink I ever had.
Okay. I'm interested.
So you would think it'd be something that's just... Because I've even had Fuck It We Ball. I've done garlic salt with gin.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty tolerable, actually. It just tasted like kind of bad gin. But not foul. It wasn't foul. It wasn't putrid. It didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt my soul. I hate licorice in general.
Yeah.
So my number 2 worst drink for me is Ouzo.
Okay.
Ouzo is basically a licorice liqueur. And it makes me vomit on contact. I can't do anything about it. But that is not the worst drink in my existence because at least the Ouzo has the grace my body knows it's foul and it will leave me. It will not do damage for long term. It is expelled like a poison early detection system. It is gone. It is expunged. It is purged from the system. But there is something called Southern Comfort with Tabasco sauce infusion.
What?
Southern
Tabasco
Comfort.
sauce.
Yeah, and it's infused with Tabasco sauce. And the whole situation was that Southern Comfort's a fairly cheap liqueur. It fucks you up. It's sweet, right?
Yeah.
It's not great. It's very cherry heavy.
Okay.
Which I'm not the biggest fan of cherry. I tolerate it in a lot of drinks. Maraschino cherry garnishes, mwah, chef kiss are great. But baseline, and it's just aggressively that. But they infused it with cherry, and we were so upset in college that people kept trying to take our good booze. Like, a house party, you lose a good bottle. And all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this in one of our high-end bottles, and we're gonna see who steals it, because we're gonna know immediately that they just drank $8 Tabasco sauce whiskey. For a half gallon, by the way. $8 for a half
Sniff
gallon.
them out.
But we're like, all right, we should probably at least taste test these before we give it to someone, right? Just to make sure it's not like too foul.
Mm-hmm.
And we all take a shot, and this is with Pain Tea, and my roommate, the polar bear. These are their nicknames, and they live up to these nicknames. They're very tough. I lived with JoJo characters essentially for a hot minute in my life. Incredibly tough people. And we all had a version of taking a knee from doing one shot. I can only describe it as getting hit with birdshot to the chest.
Oh boy.
Like, it was nothing but sharp chest pain and fire down the throat. And you're thinking Tabasco sauce. That's not that spicy of a drink. I mean, a hot sauce. It's something you add on most of your shit. It's baby time spicy. I forget that alcohol enhances all capsaicins. I will never drink that again.
That
and
sounds
I only
like
had
a
one shot of it.
bad time.
I can tell you that Polar Bear was wearing a gray hoodie for his local sports team that he liked, and Pain T was wearing his button-up black waiter shirt. And I remember this all because of the pain and looking around. If I died, what was the last thing I was seeing?
Your light
remember the
didn't flash
shirts
through
they
your
were wearing.
eyes. You're just like, I have to remember this so that when I go to Valhalla, they know what took me.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Southern Comfort with Tabasco sauce. It is the most foul, putrid thing I've ever dealt with, besides Ouzo. But Ouzo is like bad in general, but I can understand why people like it at least. I understand that some people like licorice. This is suffering.
I remember having to take... Mom and Neil had the bright idea of buying once. They made like black licorice NyQuil.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. Horrific. Never got it again. Never finished the bottle. Like, even when you're sick, that stuff's foul. Like...
Why would you do that to yourself?
Right?
Because I have this working theory that, like, England doesn't like lemon flavor, as I learned.
Oh, really?
Or at least there's a slight aversion to it. There's a slight aversion to it. And it's the same reason I have an aversion to cherry flavor.
Oh, it's for
That is the
medicine.
most... Yes. Bingo.
Oh.
Most cold medication in England is lemon flavored because I had the worst cold I ever got in England. Like, low-key fever, just miserable time, and I had to go on the flight all the way back to America. And I'm like, oh, fuck, all right, I'm going to buy some strong-ass cold medicine and just make myself pass out on the plane ride, or at least not be miserable around other people, right? I forgot to mention Pain Tea is British, and every time I start having a cough, people go, if you're going to die, die quietly. So it would come into my head every time I was starting to cough at the airport. And I'm like, fine, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, this lemon flavored medicine kind of fucks. I like it. Because it wasn't cherry.
Right? I can't do cherry NyQuil flavor. That specific flavor just like... Can't do it. Can't do it. I've heard Japan has that with root beer. I'm surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm surprised they picked root beer as the flavor. Typically, it's some kind of fruit flavor. Like, I've had bubblegum and banana flavored medicines when I was a kid. For like ear infections and stuff.
Is a very close second worst flavor.
Ooh, depends.
Because it's like fucking those baseball card bubblegum ones. Like,
Oh,
it's a specific bubblegum I've never liked to begin with.
It has flavor for about 3 chews, and then it's just like this negative, like, black hole of flavor in your mouth, where suddenly now you know what your saliva tastes like. Like, it's got really strong flavor for 3 chews, and then whoa.
God damn.
And the big gumballs are like, they're jaw-breakingly large, so you're like, ma, 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 and
So
your
they're called
jaw hurts.
jawbreakers.
Yeah. No, jawbreakers are smaller. They're dense as hell. Maybe those are gobstoppers. I think that those are gobstoppers.
Willy Wonka's the smaller ones that change multiple flavors are called gobstoppers, but like traditionally, like the large golf ball sized candies are called jawbreakers.
Oh, okay.
At least in the States. At least in the States.
I think I'm
willing
thinking
to argue localization.
Gobstopper candy is like these little nickel-sized spheres, and they're just hard. It is like you try and munch into them. It is a rock.
You will break your teeth.
Yeah, it's just straight sugar
Do
compressed.
they change flavors as you put the time of ingesting them?
I don't know. I think so, because there's like different layers inside, but it's been so long since I've had one to know if it does that.
Because that sounds like a gobstopper to me. But speaking of like heavy, intense flavor, another drink you might want to try. It's okay if they can't serve it proper, because it's a fucking boozy ass drink. Anything from tiki bars are a great time.
Okay.
But you gotta try a zombie cocktail at least once in your life.
What is in it?
So it varies from a lot of iterations, but typically it has some kind of dark rum, gold rum, white rum, 151 rum.
All kinds of rum.
Lime and pineapple juice is typically like the 6 main ingredients.
That sounds like a good time.
It really did. After that, it gets a little, like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Because tiki-style drinks were back in the 1930s, and the guy who made them isn't exactly alive anymore. Don Beach. But it's an incredibly boozy drink. It's really good bang for your buck if you go to a bar and you're like, I want to get effectively drunk, very efficiently. And it is very sweet. It's a very nice drink, but man, do you feel it is a punch. It is flavor.
Limo.
Oh, and it has a garnish of cherry, by the way. So you have cherry, lime, pineapple, and then just a fuck ton of booze. In a similar vein, you're familiar with Long Island tea, right?
No, actually. I know what it is, but I don't know what's in it.
It's just Coca-Cola, gin, vodka, rum. I forget what the fourth one is, but it's another one of those. But if you're looking for something a little different, try a Tokyo iced tea, which adds Midori, a melon liqueur, to it. It's very green, it's very bright, it's very beautiful. Most people can't fuck it up because a Long Island tea is really hard to fuck up, and you're just adding Midori to it. Which not every bar will have, but typically they keep one on hand, or some version of a melon liqueur on it.
Okay. Interesting. I'm also
Like
drinking
most dive bars, I
amaretto
know.
and Coke. What's amaretto?
Amaretto is a aperitif, actually.
Oh.
It's very bitter.
Okay.
I know it's Italian. Give me a second. I have a book for this sometimes because I can't always remember this all off the top of my head.
No, fair.
There's a book I use. It's called the Bartender's Bible.
Oh, okay.
And there's another one called the Bartender Manifesto, and that's the one where if you want to learn more of the theories of like how to make a cocktail from scratch. The Manifesto is the other one, and it also gives a lot of good history.
Okay.
So you said what was amaretto, right?
Yep.
All right. Amaretto is also a confectionery from Italy. I just remember this because I'm fucking looking at my amaretto cookies. It is a cherry-based drink.
Ooh.
It's very sweet. You
Nice.
can use it in a variety of cocktails. Amaretto and Coke, so you're basically just making alcoholic cherry cola.
Nice. Okay, I'm down for that.
Sorry, I always fuck this up. It's almond.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That'd probably go well with macaroons then.
Okay, no, I was completely off base. It just tastes like fucking cherries for me. But then again, I always fuck this up on the tasting test as well. I'll never get a level 2 on sommelier. I always fuck up this one. Amaretto is made using apricot pits, almonds, or in the base spirit, mixed together with alcohol, with sugar, and caramel.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
Cicerone would be a very popular amaretto brand, if you wanted to know the big one. Luxardo is the one I typically use.
Okay.
Because they also make good maraschino cherries.
Nice. Okay.
Which you would want for something like if you did a Manhattan or a whiskey of an old fashioned, which are like the godfathers of all cocktails.
Which you had mentioned earlier, you think that there are 5 godfathers of cocktails, essentially, of mixed drinks. Can you tell us what those 5 are?
One of them is just a sour. Just straight up like the whiskey sour. Any iteration of something sour.
When you say sour, what do you do to it?
So a sour, as always, it's a spirit, it's a type of citrus that's sour, and simple syrup.
Oh, okay.
It's just that everything that's a sour is some iteration of this. Some alcohol, some kind of fruit juice, and simple syrup. It's fucking baby. That's what I'm saying. Like it's derivative. There's the word I'm looking for.
A gin and tonic is just add tonic water. It's a gin sour. A tonic water.
That's a little bit of a actually kind of, because it's tonic with lemon juice. You typically add lemon juice.
Lemon juice and simple syrup.
The other would be an old fashioned, which came around in like 1806 to 1810, depending on if you ask. They're the other basic baby bitch drink to make. It's always some form, typically 2 ounces of a spirit, some type of syrup, and then a bitter.
Okay.
Which adds like a complexity of flavor, right? Bitters are typically these little bottle containers you get, and Grosta is like the most famous brand. And you add like 1 to 3 dashes of it. It's highly concentrated, highly flavorful alcohol, but if you drank it, you probably McFucking die. Or at least you just be like, like those hyper exaggerated lemon faces? Where someone looks like their face goes into a car crumple crash?
Yup.
Yeah, you look like that. It's just meant to help accentuate. It's kind of the same thing, the third one. It's the Martini Manhattan.
Okay.
Which is just some form of spirit, vermouth, and again, bitters. You'll notice there's a rule of 3 for most of these cocktails, and then you just start stapling other things onto them.
Sours, syrup, alcohol. Sours,
vermouth,
tonic, alcohol.
The only one this is one I only recently learned of, and I'm gonna butcher this one because this is the one that kind of tied it all together. A Vtuber, Vieux, Vox.
Hold on. How do you spell it again?
Vieux, Carre.
Vtuber?
Vtuber. There's other versions of it, but this is like the original name. I had to dig into this.
Okay.
And basically, it's a middle child somewhere between a Manhattan and an old fashioned. So you mix 2 spirits, some vermouth, a little liqueur, and then a bunch of bitters and citrus together. So you're just combining the 2 schools of thought into this one.
Nice.
And last but not least, my personal favorite, my lovely boy, the Negroni, which was literally just an Americano, but he said, fuck soda water, put gin in that shit. So it's gin, vermouth, some kind of aperitif or digestif, like Underberg or Jägermeister. And then, you guessed it, more bitters and fruit.
Whoa!
Yeah, it always breaks down to, you're using bitters or you're using fruit or some syrup. Like, that's what a cocktail is.
Okay.
But then you could put it on, are you shaking? Are you stirring it? Are you using crushed ice because you want it to melt faster? And which helps dilute the drink as it goes along to even out the balancing of the flavor profile. Because a lot of things that call for crushed ice, Mai Tai for example, it's very rum heavy. What do you want to do for most people that don't like alcohol? You want to curb that shit. It's going to happen pretty quickly with crushed ice. It melts faster. But you have a Negroni, it's just aggressive with it. You got to stir it, and you got to use big heavy cubes because you want the aggressive flavor to stay there. But yeah, that's like the 5 basics. Everything else is some fucking iteration of it. At least when I've looked at the list upon list upon list of drinks in my life.
So when you say the bartender's Bible, I'm pretty sure this is just how they did it back in the day. But you just had like, you know how they had Rolodexes, right? Where you would just have your contact. You just write down on cue cards, put them in your Rolodex, all the drinks. And someone's like, can I get this? And you're like, yeah, sure. You flip it open, find the drink. Okay, make that. And then eventually you just learn how to make them. That's how I imagine a lot of bars have done it in the past. So, that way you don't have to like have to open a book and look at all this stuff, right? You just like write it down on a cue card, put it in the Rolodex. I had a Rolodex for numbers for cashiering.
Not quite that bad, but equally bad. There's at least this is how I got mine. I have a copy of a 1939 Mr. Boston's official bartender's guide from 1939.
1939.
Yeah, very interesting year to procure something like that in America. But Mr. Boston's is a pretty standard book. It's very thin. It's very small. But there's a lot of iterations of it, and they're usually that you could just take around, and they're lightweight. Usually most of them have it. Like most bars will have some form of it. It's even why in like Valhalla, just bringing it back to that, like you have an interface that shows you how to do it all.
Yeah.
The difference is that Mr. Boston, to save room, it just tells you the fucking basics of how to do it. It's like, here's what it is. Stir it in a Collins glass. Serve it in this. Like, it just will tell you what the ingredients are. And typically, there's a lot of glassware that's specific for each use. Like a Tom Collins has to be served in a Collins glass. It's so popular, they made a glass style for it.
Damn, okay, I need to look this up.
For optimal enjoyment.
For optimum enjoyment.
Well, it's kind of like how, you know, red wine and white wine, how they have different wine glasses for that.
Yeah.
It's that for cocktails.
Oh, I made it in the right glass. Okay, mine's not circular, it's rectangular, but it's the same size.
Yeah, it's not crazy, like, uncommon, right? It's a fairly common glass type. But if you were to properly enjoy the drink, you would have to serve it in a Collins glass.
I'm pretty close then. Mine are slightly rectangular instead of it looks like it's 14-ounce glasses that are vertical, right? So that when you put your ice cubes in, they kind of stack on top of each other instead of like floating at the top, which would balance the coolness throughout the entire thing, is what I imagine that glass design's for. So I have been drinking them properly this entire time. Let's go.
I'm applauding. I don't know if it can be heard, but I'm applauding.
Perfect. It's just when you get those little glasses, there's not enough room for the gin, okay? Maybe. Well, there's not enough room for the tonic because I put in too much gin.
I mean, if you want me to get even meaner about alcohol, everything's vodka with extra steps.
Different levels of vodka?
It's just with extra steps, because like vodka is just a neutral grain spirit.
Okay.
Then what do you do with whiskey? Well, you put it in a barrel, you make a grain spirit, and then you put it in a barrel, preferably oak. That's my preferred, but you can put it in other barrels, and you let it age for a while. There's a couple other steps. You have to actually make it into this malt that comes from a stew, and then you put it all properly away. But essentially, gin is literally vodka, and you put botanicals in it.
Huh. Interesting.
Rum is vodka with sugar. You burn cane sugar in it.
Let's go.
Whiskey is probably the one I'm bastardizing the most because it does need specific malts. It does need specific ingredients that need to be made into a first level alcohol it's called the slog.
Okay.
It's really grody stuff. It smells awful. Never drink it. And then they distill that into the process. But like most other alcohols we know is some form of distilled vodka with X thing in it.
Okay. It's simple when you get down to it. It's simple.
Yeah.
We got a lot of fancy different things. But to be fair, the subtle taste of elderflower changes the gin, I swear.
It does. It really does. Elderflower liqueur is also a real bitch to mix proper outside of gin and tonic.
Ooh. Good thing that's what I drink exclusively.
Well, it's just floral liqueurs in general. They're so pungent. They're so, they smell. So when you smell something, you taste it in some capacity.
Oh, and you don't want to mess with that. You want to enhance that flavor profile, not have it kind of get mixed up.
I'll switch gears. The martini, which can be done with vodka or gin. it uses vermouth. It's supposed to be a very balanced and smooth drink. You add 1/4 ounce of elderflower. That drink is fucking elderflower and nothing else. And this is like 4 ounces because I make 4-ounce martinis.
Okay.
Right? If I put 1/4 ounce of elderflower, I taste nothing but the elderflower.
Just a splash.
elderflower.
Just do a little splash.
It's the same with absinthe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that was the drink I had at Off-Kai that I was like, fuck, I'm not trusting any drink with absinthe ever again.
Yeah.
Because it's also licorice flavored.
Oh.
They have one of those spray bottles, like for like spritzer bottles, just for like cleaning your glasses. They had one for the absinthe in it because it's supposed to be like the top of the drink. It's just on the top. And I just tasted nothing but absinthe for the entirety of the drink. And I was like, oh, I hate this. Oh, I don't like this. I'm having a bad time.
The Egos demands a 16-ounce martini. I regret to inform you, it's going to be a 4-ounce martini with a lot of slush. We're gonna
I'll just
pour
charge
some
him 4
liquor.
times.
Sure. It's a 4-ounce martini in a 16-ounce glass with a little bit of alcohol in the straw, or
I like the
or you
idea that
charge
we
it
give
4
him
times.
a 64-ounce glass, like a really big glass with a really long straw, just with 4 ounces of alcohol. Like a really big swirly straw just to get a small amount. Because like that's half of bartending is showmanship as well, and I'm not one. I'm on the Jill camp from Valhalla. All those cool tricks, yeah, they're cool, I guess. Makes the drink come out pretty slow though. I hate the people that can fucking do both. I worked with this bartender, and he was definitely one like. I know I'm not like an unattractive person, but when there's someone that's like just certifiably attractive across the board.
You look and you're like, that's the attractive guy in the room.
Yeah. It's very obvious that you're just a normal dude, and this guy came out of like a fucking male's catalog. He looks like a Zoolander wannabe, like, but he also could do all the cool tricks really fast. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, he made like 4 times the tips I did.
As you do.
But that's okay. That's the industry, Sex appeal sells and all that. But man, I'm always upset at the bartenders that can do the razzle, the dazzle, and make the drink fast. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Berk, I got the solution to your problems.
What?
Just take Jill's route. Twin tails or wind tails.
Oh, fuck. I hope you're ready for Mudman with twin tails. I'm gonna do that off guy.
Did you get that Jill 1/7 scale figure?
No.
Is it still available?
I don't know.
What's her full name? Jillian?
Jillian Stingray. I don't remember there's a last name. I meant middle name.
It is for sale, guys, for $60 US.
Oof.
It is still pre-orderable. We'll ship
I'm
quarter
happy
4
that-
2025. Just saying.
I'm not one to ask for birthday gifts, but that would be pretty rad.
Just saying, guys.
I appreciate you shielding out for me. I
His
appreciate you
birthday's
shielding out for me.
coming
It's not
up. Just
necessary.
say it.
It's not necessary, please.
Say it. $60. We can crowdfund it.
For $1 a day.
For
For
one
4 days. One easy installment of $2.99 plus a 1-cent tax.
Oh, but it is. We're heading up to 4 hours here, so
About to say, the time flies. Holy shit.
time does fly. Thanks for coming, everyone. We're gonna wind down. I need to find someone to say hi to if you guys have any recommendations.
I wanted to say thank you for letting me be here and
Yeah.
let me talk your folks who are here years off with alcohol. We didn't even get to talk about beer, but I could say that for a different day.
Give us your rootin' tootin' beer thing.
It's just Kolsch's are supreme. I think German beer is the highest level.
Good. Good answer.
Belgian second place.
Not a good. They have a lot more distinctions of beer. Like when you go to the restaurant and you ask for beer, it's like, do you want a white beer? Do you want a light beer? What kind of, like, they have like 6 different kinds of just like on tap beer, and they've got brands of each of those beer, right? Like, and then you have beer mixed drinks, right? My favorite one is it's a white beer, and it's not exactly the same as 7-Up, but it's pretty close, right? It's a lemony soda and white beer 50-50 mix, and it's some good stuff. I could drink that for days. I'm forgetting the name.
Radler?
Yeah, there's a Radler. I know that grapefruit Radler is also popular, but obviously if you have medication, watch out.
That's why I drink it every day.
Yeah, so definitely, if you want, obviously Oktoberfest is in the last week of September.
That's just German trolling, and I can't get over it.
It is a celebration of a wedding that went on for a week, and then they just decided to celebrate it every year. They closed down 2 streets in München and set up beer tents the size of Walmart. And like each tent is like a grocery store size, and they have rotisserie chicken, and like they rotisserie it there, and schnitzel and all that great stuff. And then you don't sit at a table like with your family. It's just longhouse style. There's just cafeteria. You sit down at a table as soon as there's space, and then the ladies come around and bring drinks. Like, it's some good stuff. You cannot, if you make even the slightest motions to stand up on the table, you will be escorted out, because drunk people rally really easily. They have security all around. They do bag checks to make sure nobody's bringing anything bad. And then you make a motion to even like step on a chair to like tie your shoe. Security's there. Like, they're on top of that. So, go to Oktoberfest. It's fun. It's safe. You'll have a blast.
Hell yeah.
But, well, before we go, when are you gonna stream next, Berk?
Tomorrow.
What you gonna stream?
I said I was gonna do me side, and I realized I forgot the whole week is already over, so I guess I'll do me side tomorrow, because I promised that.
There we go.
Watch me go. Oh, that's not good. Repeatedly, when scary things happen.
Ooh. I'll also be on tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing more cleaning simulator Voices of the Void.
It's really fun getting to hear the cross channel, because I know Omega's playing it.
Yeah.
So I get to hear the difference, but I refuse to watch either of your streams while you play that, because I'm playing it eventually, TM.
Eventually, trademark. I feel that I'm ignoring all of the spoopy stuff to do my job. So I'm really into the job sim. Like, they've had, you know, like banging on the doors. Oh no, something scary's outside. I'm like, shut up, go away, I'm working. Ignored it. And then Paladin ignores the job to clean. He's like sitting in the dark, destitute. The transformers have blown out, and he's like, okay, I just gotta finish this room. I just gotta clean this room. You will understand the moment you walk into that building. You'll be like, oh god, I have to clean.
You underestimate my ability to be like, this is just part of the natural habitat. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure, I could optimize room efficiency and walk in a straight line to get my job faster, but I could pirouette through these 3 things and never stub my toes.
All right. I'll send you guys off, though. Thank you so much for joining me, Berk. We're going to head off to Ivy. She's playing
some Monster Hunters.
Monster Hunter. She's doing the low rank quest. I'm probably not going to stream any more of it myself, because I've already gone too far.
Was there a special embargo?
No, there's not an embargo. There's just, I've already progressed off stream. It's too late. It's too late. We're going. It's too late. So,
all right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, and then on Monday. Bye!
Bye.